That was the Travis and Some Flowers Through My Window. This is XFM 104.9 of a Saturday afternoon, just gone 6 minutes past 1. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there, hi. Good to talk to you.
Karl Pilkington is over there.
All right.
Hey.
Keeps it real.
Yeah.
Respect, Karl.
Oh.
Rick, I just think, we want to lift off the show straight away into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that, it seemed to me, was to resurrect a game we used to play when we first began the show in old XFM days. Do you remember the game? Do you remember the game Make Ricky Gervais
Rub Me Hard.
Rub You Hard?
No.
No,
Sorry,
that was only in the pilot. We never actually did that on live.
Okay, right.
No, it was the game Make Ricky Gervais Laugh.
Oh, I remember,
We used to get people, Karl, you probably didn't hear it, we used to get people to sort of send in pictures and jokes and stuff. And if I could make Ricky laugh on air with those,
he won a toffee.
Then they won a gift of some kind.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of emails actually saying people love your laugh, Rick. So in a sense, we're giving the public what they want.
They must be taking the mickey.
But this is a picture I found in today's copy of The Sun. So if you're listening at home and you want to know what the picture looks like, rush out and buy a copy, only 40p.
Yeah.
And
are we sponsored by The Sun? We do White Van Man.
Exactly. It amused me straight away, this, because bear in mind,
Right.
it is one of the world's biggest rock stars.
Okay.
Just check out the face.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Look at that.
Oh, that is Michael Stipe. Oh, dear, with sort of like looking like, I don't know, some sort of Nazi officer. That's not libelous.
That's not like it's in your opinion, Michael Stipe.
Yeah.
He's outside there during the press conference for Peter Buck's.
It's not a good picture. I love R.E.M. and I love Michael Stipe. I think he's a lovely man, but that's a bad picture, isn't it?
He's got big glasses on and stubble, obviously still bald. He doesn't appear to be looking at anything. He's looking right beyond everyone else. Can you see that, Karl? I'll tell you who he looks like. He looks like Zig, I think, from Zig and Zag. He looks like he's a Muppet made of foam.
Oh, love it.
Nice to see that game come back.
Yeah, the medium of radio.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good picture that is. I hope you enjoyed it. Coming up soon, we've got Sir David of Bowie, Nicholas Cave, and Travis, Flowers in the Window again. Play a song. Right. Daft Punk, Aerodynamic on XFM 104.9. It's all right. It was all right.
Uneventful, wasn't it?
Really? So I left a secret to go in.
Popped out for a coffee.
Yeah. I don't want to diss the funny little French lads.
Sure.
But,
Try harder.
Are they French?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Sorry.
Do you speak much French, Rick?
I speak un peu. Yeah.
I can ask, where is the Tourist Information Bureau? And I can express my preference in music tastes, and I can order an Orangina, and that's all I can do.
I know bière, blonde, pression, I think. That means draft, you're French.
Tu aimes la musique folk?
Oh, that's filthy. So that means, Karl?
No, go on.
Really dirty. Really dirty.
Tu aimes la musique folk?
Yeah, you dirty. you filthy little
Frenchie. All right. But, do you know much French, Karl?
Have you got any fromage?
That'd work.
That's cheese or fish.
It's cheese. It's cheese.
Would you not care which one you were given? You like both?
I think
that's a whole different kettle of poisson.
Yeah. I just think when you're in a country, you should have a little go.
Well,
that's a very little go.
Yeah. You mean like football hooligans have a little go? What do you mean?
Try and have a go at their language.
Well, what I do is I go in there and I point and talk a bit louder than usual in perfect English. And if they don't get it, I go mental.
Exactly.
Securing the fact that I've tried my best and they're having a laugh.
And that is the prerogative of all Englishmen.
Or just point.
Point and shout?
Yeah, point and shout. Don't forget, because you can never be foreign if you're English anywhere. Yeah. No, they're speaking funny. Just remember that. Yeah?
Yeah.
God save us. Sorry, go on then. You were going to say something else.
Yeah. That picture you were showing me.
Yeah.
I wish we could post one on the website of Karl. Remember we won an award ages ago. What was it called? The British Radio Authority Award.
Yeah.
And we made Karl get in the picture, and he was a bit reticent, but it came out nice. But his head is perfectly circular. I put a coin on it, and only the ears popped out from behind the coin. Isn't it perfectly round, isn't it?
I mean, when you've been saying I've got a round head, I was a bit like, yeah, everyone has. Stop having a go.
Yeah.
And then I saw this picture last week. I thought, God, he's right.
Can't we just pop it on the XOM website?
I'd rather not.
I'll go on. Just get
Steve,
someone.
have you seen that man in a jar without a brain?
Sorry, is that something? Is that a product you can buy in like Sainsbury's?
Is it a dream you had yesterday?
Man in
And
a
you wondered
jar.
if you could. Can I? Yes, hello. Could you make my dream into reality, please? Oh, we can't actually, sir. In plastic would be good.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In the
a man?
future, you'd be able to download your dreams and then just like act them out again, probably in the year 2000 or something.
Soothsayer.
No, there's some museum somewhere
Yeah.
that's got this little fella who was born without a brain, and he's in a jar, and it's just that he's got a really round head.
Right.
And when I saw this picture, I thought, God, it just reminded me of this little fella in a jar.
Oh, and what do you mean he's born without a brain?
He was born without a brain.
So it's a baby.
It's not a little fella.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Do you know the difference? Do you have conversations with like people in prams thinking that fella's little and he doesn't talk much?
Yeah.
You know, babies aren't like little people.
Well, maybe...
Well, they are little people, but I mean, they're not very small adults. They're not like midgets.
They don't do a job of work, is what we're saying.
Yeah. You're very there. What do you
I
mean?
didn't read about it, I just saw the picture. And
This
it
is
looked
where
like
you're
a man.
going wrong, Carl. This is always your mistake. You see the picture, you don't read the little caption.
But what do you mean? How did you think-
guess at what you think the meaning
But
is.
how did you know he didn't have a brain?
He said something like the brainless man.
Yeah, but people say that about you. It doesn't mean you haven't got a spinal cord.
I bet somebody's seen it and knows what I mean. It's a famous picture. It's
Right,
like-
call in 08700 800 1234. Once again, you win a prize if you can tell us what Karl is talking about. Just in general. It's an ongoing competition. We're trying to find some CDs to anyone who knows what Karl is talking about. Stereophonics, Vegas, 2 times. Well, we've had calls confirming that there was indeed a fetus or a stillborn child.
A pickled baby.
A pickled baby. No wonder it died. Born without a brain. But everyone has, pointed out that it wasn't a little fella.
It certainly wasn't a little fella.
No.
But because it had been in the jar for a long time, I think it had aged a bit.
What are you basing that on?
You do carry on growing, yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Your ears and your nose.
Your ears and your nose. And your eyes don't grow, so you could probably, yeah.
I'll dig it out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if like there was an experiment where they were raising a child just based on the information that we said on the radio. What kind of a person
It was like
would they
download,
be?
yeah. And
What kind of information would they
and
have?
it took everything literally.
Exactly.
And I think, there's no irony or, it was just.
They just, everything we said they assumed was fact. Everything that Karl said.
And
they
any
assumed was fact.
question it had about the world, it could only ask Karl.
Exactly.
And it would
See,
be
now,
his-
this worries me because without wishing to be disrespectful in any way, Karl, I think you're the best man on earth. When you have a child, we could be in a situation a bit like that. Is it a concern for you, do you think, that like when your son's growing up or your daughter and they're asking you questions, you're conscious, I mean, you yourself have admitted that
Yeah,
you have a sphere of knowledge which you are an expert on.
Ask your mother.
You'd say, ask your mother.
That's good.
That's great, fair enough.
That's good.
And I'd play with it. I think I'd be a good dad.
Yeah, I think you would.
But I wouldn't be the one who's shouting at it.
No.
I'd
Who would
just
you
like-
get to shout at it? Probably Windsor Davis. He'd be good, wouldn't he? You horrible little man.
Well, I'd tell it the rights and wrong. You don't have to be a really bright person to know the rights and wrong in the world.
Yeah.
No, I think you are bright, Karl.
You are. And at what point in their life would you tell them about the evolution of the baguette, which you told us?
Or the story of the bee.
Yes.
That you scored once.
Or the 2 children. Would you ever get them to meet as maybe like that? They could be godparents. The friends you had at school.
Yeah,
with webbed
the
hands.
big heads and
Big
webbed
heads.
They
hands
weren't my friends.
that weren't friends.
I wish we could track them down.
Oh, that'd be great.
I imagine they're in a zoo. Oh wow!
Oh,
Yeah.
2 big
A safari
jars.
park, yeah.
2 big jars. Industrial strength jars. Oh, dear.
Man.
Guess what?
Go on.
This is one of our last shows. We're going away, I'm afraid, on the 4th of May, isn't it?
Can't remember.
That's our last show, the 4th of May.
Yeah, not forever.
I brought a downer on the whole thing then,
Yeah.
didn't I? There's people cheering. Well, guess who's taken over from us? And I found this out. I was watching Liquid News the other night.
Right.
No one had called me. Zoe Ball.
Well, she's a good presenter, but is this confirmed?
I don't know. How should I have said that?
Is this true?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, you've done it now.
Yeah.
She was in the other day. You watched it on the telly, so...
Yeah.
What annoys me is this is rather like when we got, according to last week's Media Guardian, we got rapped for saying the word cock on the radio. And what we never did we? We had to read that on the internet. No one ever told us
that just slipped out your mouth, didn't it?
What's that, cock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway,
And now we don't even get told face to face that Zoe Ball's going to take over.
Yeah, but it was only like sorted out the other day, and then when I saw you,
We're allowed to say
yesterday-
ball, aren't we?
Yeah, when I saw
Right.
you yesterday, I said, "Yeah, it's."
So we're not allowed to say. No. I'm not going to say the word, and we're not going to say. We're not allowed to say the. We are allowed to say the male bird is a cock. We're not allowed to say the other one, but we are allowed to say ball.
Yeah.
What if her and her dad, Bobby, would we be able to say a pair of balls? Would we be able to say that? And I don't know.
I don't think he's part of the deal. So you don't need to.
In fact, if she's listening, call in and confirm it. We'd let her on the air, won't we? As long as she doesn't swear.
Yeah, don't be rude.
Yeah, don't be rude, Zoe.
Lou.
Yeah.
Don't be cheap, basically.
Better warn as well not to leave too much nothing lying around, because it'll be gone, especially if it's skag. Echo and the Bunnymen, Killing Moon. Good to hear that again.
Yes.
On XFM 104.9.
Who are you?
I'm Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that funny little round-headed fellow over
Karl Pilkington.
there? Pilky. Pilkers.
Well, she hadn't called, so mustn't be true.
I just didn't think we were being disrespectful to her, because we both think she's a fine presenter, and I think she'd do very well on it. And I think it's a good move as well.
Yeah, but can you just say it's not forever?
Isn't it?
No,
I think
she's done.
she'll become more popular than us.
And I
At least she can-
think that'd be the end of us, to be honest.
Well,
I
she
think
can string a sentence together.
I think she'll get lots of PR and everything. And she goes out with Big Boy Slim,
Big Boy Slim,
who's,
a good DJ.
he's a good DJ. And, is her name Zoe Slim now?
Yeah.
Right. There will be nothing. It's 3 months, isn't it? She's taken over for. Is she getting paid the same as us?
I don't know.
We'll find
I
out.
bet it's a hell of a lot more.
I'll go mental.
I bet it's good money. It's good work.
I'll go mental.
Yeah, well,
Well, there you go. What are you going to do
I'm
for 3 months?
going to have Saturdays off.
What
Is
are you gonna
she? Are you going to present with her? Are you going to come on and press the buttons?
do? He's not allowed.
No, I don't. I hope not, because you're our whipping boy co-presenter.
Yeah. You're like our little fella in a jar.
Yeah.
It's
That's what we should do with you over the 3 months. Keep it in a jar, and we can have it in alternate weeks, like step parents or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Brilliant. Just you can.
Oh,
do
me and Steve will fight for custody.
Yeah, it'll be a big jar though. You can put stuff in there.
You can have it. Won't be like full of water or vinegar or whatever they do. Or
You won't become Pickled
formaldehyde.
Karl.
No. It'd be like big air chamber, and you're sat there, and it'd be like a little. What would it be, an armchair or something?
It'd be in an armchair, and we'd have stuff in there, and we'd bring your girlfriend like once a week, and she'd go. No, we put a blanket over the top so we wouldn't, see anything.
But like the Big Brother household.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, that's a hell of a documentary.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Karl in a jar.
But anyway, so we're going away on the 4th of May for 12 weeks.
It's a long time, isn't
we
it?
were doing the second series of The Office, so we can't be around, I'm afraid. And Zoe Ball's standing in for us. And
That can't be right. She's not. I don't think you can say standing in for us.
Isn't that right?
Taking over the show, I think would be fair to say.
I don't know. I can't say anything now, can you? I'm
Don't
worried
say
about that. Just because he goes up with Big Boy Slim, you got to be careful what you say.
Yeah. Karl, you look upset.
He's starting to think that we're getting melancholy now, that you're just going to sit at home. What are you going to do every Saturday?
Don't know. Go shopping.
Let's sort out a jar. We've got to do the balloons before then as well. You've got to send you up in a balloon. Maybe we can send you up in a balloon and you come straight down into a big jar.
Yeah.
And they put
a giant cork in straight away.
yeah, and there's a big chair.
I tell you what we could do. We could set you adrift like Robinson Crusoe set the ball and see where you end up.
If you find me, yeah. Oh, you might go to an uninhabited island or something.
I'll tell you something I learned in the week.
Go on.
Just reminded me there about going up in the air.
Go on.
Right? If cars could drive up, it only take an hour to get into space.
Which is great.
Going how fast?
About 50 miles an hour.
You just made that up, didn't you? You just guessed that. You just guessed it. You just said about 50.
Yeah,
See,
but
this is what worries me. If you have a son or a daughter,
Yeah.
age 50, he's
Yeah.
going to be out in the street with a ramp pointing into the sky.
Dad, how long do elephants live? About 1,000 years. 1,000 or something.
I wouldn't say.
Dad, how much can an ant lift? About a quarter of a kilogram, probably. About 2 bags of sugar.
If you guess, it's not fact.
Yeah. If just because you thought it, that doesn't make it a fact. Does anyone know how long it'd take a car going 50
Let's
miles
not
an hour?
get people are phoning
to
in
go
about
into
anything
space?
now, Rick.
Yeah.
We asked him to phone in about the jar thing. Switchboard lit up. It's crazy. You ask me to phone in about something sensible,
Yeah.
like Che Guevara or the life of
I
Winston
know the fact
Churchill. There's nothing.
That is really a demographic sort of snapshot of our fans,
our audience.
Ask them about a dead baby without a brain.
Oh, yeah,
and
straight
they're
on the
reaching
phone.
with their phones. They don't mind what their bill is that much.
We ask them for, I don't know, great quotes or something from the great philosophers. Nothing.
They're just
ask
looking
them
at the
where
phone.
to buy meths cheap. Straight on the phone.
Oh, do you know the quotes that Ricky gave me last week and I turned them down?
Yeah.
I got home, girlfriend had a go at me.
They don't know you turned him down. What you know is that he said he didn't want to take the book at the end of the show. He said, I'm not taking it. It's too difficult. I'm going to go and get a nice one and go on.
Yeah, so I went home and Suzanne said, where's the book? She was really looking forward to having a look at it. I said, I gave it him back. I wasn't up for that. And yet last week I was ill and stuff. I wasn't in the mood for learning.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it. She goes, this is where you went wrong at school.
Oh.
She said, this is exactly where you went wrong. She said, you liked infants. You liked, you're colouring in and you're painting stuff. She said, but as soon as it gets to the heavy stuff, you just, you're like a horse with its blinkers on.
Yeah.
So you just shut yourself away. So I said, no, I could have done if I wanted to. So anyway, we went and bought a quotations book. So I have got some quotes.
Yeah, what's the quotation book you bought? So I was asking him to read Keats and Wilde, Wordsworth, Shakespeare. What did you buy?
It's quotes with like Eric and Ernie and that in it. No, but it's still quotes.
They're still quotes.
The Sesame Street book of quotes. Brilliant.
They're still
valid. No, it's a starting point.
Oh.
It's a starting point.
Okay.
Well, we'll have some quotes.
We'll have
from
some of that
Karl
after
later.
the
We've got a
yeah.
lot more to get through before
We've got a bit of new order.
Bit of new order.
Excellent. New order, here to stay. On XFM 104.9. Someone, I love our listeners, I really do, right? Someone just called in and said it's about he went, hello? Karl answers the phones. And I said, hello? He went, hello. He said, yeah, about putting Karl in a big jar. And Karl went, go on. And the bloke went, well, then you could call him Karl Pilkington. And he went, thanks. I love the bothering. I like Karl Pilkington. That's lovely. That's so sweet. He spent 50p to tell you that, and you were worried. You just saw you going up in a balloon and landing in a jar again, didn't you? What have you gone through yet? You've had nothing but good feedback from this show now, and now you're just getting all worried, aren't you? Heat magazine say you're a genius. You've got your picture in that Extracts magazine with a little round head. You have Jaffa cakes. I gave him a £5 the other week to buy biscuits. He's having the time of his life. Yeah. This is best day. This must be your best 2 hours of the week.
I enjoy it, yeah. It's all right sometimes.
Yeah? What's better regular than this for you? What's a better 2 hours a week? Sleep doesn't count.
Actually, you're probably right. It might be this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or that 24 thing's good.
Right.
Like that.
Probably worth mentioning
Suzanne.
Yeah, your girlfriend.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying, doesn't it?
Oh, he's done it. He's pulled it round. He's pulled it round. He's a charmer.
If she could come in and sit in the corner, then yeah, it would be the best time ever.
That's pretty sweet, eh?
Oh.
She's not even in London at the moment.
Oh, so you
you
want
have
then?
to say that.
You
Yeah.
have to say it, and you did anyway.
Yeah. That's lovely.
She might be listening. Somewhere.
Yeah, it's Sky Digital. There's always that. There's always
that danger.
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, over to you.
I just was wondering, because I've had an exciting week, relatively speaking, Rick, because sort of just spending it all with you, sat in a little room, as is our way.
Yeah.
I've been doing some acting this week, as you know.
I know.
And I don't normally act, but I basically there's some people at the BBC who are making a comedy pilot, kind of comedy TV show, and and I auditioned for it, and the role was to play a sort of freaky-looking, sort of lanky geek, and I don't want to say.
How did you beat off?
I don't want to sound arrogant, Rick, but they gave me the job on the spot. So it was like, obviously, because I'm not a bad actor. I'm not as good as Rick, but I'm, I'm not.
What is it? What is it?
I play a really tall guy, like a sort of.
That's the part. That's the part, though, isn't it? About you've got.
I'm a character who's 6'7" tall, and I'm trying to win the world's tallest man.
That's it. Yeah.
But there's always a man that beats me every year because he's slightly taller. But this year, I think for some reason, because I've been training, I can beat him.
That's the conceit.
And Sally Phillips, I don't know if you know Sally Phillips, she's a very good comedy writer and actress, and she's written it. So it was good fun, and so we went down there, and it was good and everything. It was a little trailer and everything. It was like the proper deal. It was really good. And the problem was yesterday, I had to dance. One of the sequences had me dancing. Now, as you know, I think I'm a pretty groovy dancer. I'm a bit of a mover.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you this, Rick.
Do you have anyone's eye out with your elbow?
I have come to some serious realizations about my dancing.
Really?
I was moving around like a Shire horse dancing.
Really?
It was terrible. I was just like creaking. They had this choreographer trying to show me some moves, and it was just.
He was just like crying by the end of it.
It was.
They were. Yeah.
It was so bad. But the worst thing about it is, today my whole body is ravaged with pain and agony. I'm utterly devastated by the agony of it. Trying to get down the stairs this morning, I swear to God, I look like Thor Hurd. Trying to hobble down. It was mad. I was like I'd had several hip replacements. I was like, I had to go down at an angle, going down the stairs. It was ludicrous. And I was really worried. Suddenly I'm thinking, because I thought I was pretty fit and pretty groovy and everything. And I had been discussing with this mate of mine, my housemate, that we should maybe start doing some exercise because I'm putting on a little bit of weight, right? He's quite a thin, tall guy. He has a belly. I don't know how to summarize it. Have you ever seen the film Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Really?
It's like grotesque. So the two of us, so we decided that we were going to do some exercise together, right? This is what we're going to do. Each morning we were going to get up, we were going to exercise together.
That won't happen.
Right. Well, no, but wait, Rick. You see, you're wrong because a couple of days ago I said to him, listen, what we should do is get one of those like health videos, you know, those kind of training videos, what they called like, I don't know, they might have an aerobics thing or a sort of hour-long workout. And I said to him, get one of the ones that's hosted by like
Pauline Quirk.
Elle Macpherson or Cindy Crawford, you know, someone like that, someone sexy, right? So I swear to God, we went down this morning, we put it on, right? Just want you to picture this scene, right? It's me and my mate in our shorts, right? 9 o'clock in the morning, working out.
You didn't actually do it.
To Helen from Big Brother's video, right? It was the cheapest one, Steve, he told me. Thanks very much, mate.
We saw that advertised as well.
Working out, right? And the two of us in our shorts, she's there, like, she's the closest there is to a living Homer Simpson, right? Shouting out and stuff. I just wanted to be reassured, Rick. There's nothing gay about that, is there? There's nothing a touch kind of fruity about that image.
No. I mean, the ones you do avoid would be sort of Liza Minnelli workout.
Cher.
Graham Norton, obviously.
Dale Winton.
Gay Byrne.
Right, sure.
He's not gay.
No.
But, I mean, the name's a little bit gay, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think Helen from Big Brother, you're probably safe. Mm-hmm. Who else? I don't know what else to tell you, really.
But I mean, because I know you've got a personal trainer. I'm obviously not in that kind of stakes. There's kind of stakes at the moment. I don't have that kind of cash.
No.
But, I'm obviously quite excited. What have I got to look forward to? Do I go through a
my trainer, Pink Eric, we call him. I sort of box a little bit.
But what I'm saying is, do you go through a pain barrier?
No. I stopped way before that.
Right.
And I sit down and have a beer.
Right.
There's no point in going through the pain because it just put you off.
Sure.
So if you start feeling any sort of pain or any breathlessness or any aches, sit down immediately.
Now, is it right that he's worked out a special routine for you where you don't have to get up?
Yeah. When he actually said, I remember the first. I got my food diary and he was looking at it. And I could see he sort of feared it. He feared taking on this challenge. And this is a true quote. At one point, he said, right, okay, cut cheese down to 5 times a week then. I must have haggled from 4. Cheese down to 5 times a week. And it's sort of like, I'm my own worst enemy. Because if I cut out cheese and beer, I would just lose weight. Like it would drop off me in a month. So what I'm doing, I'm fighting it all the time. I haven't changed my sort of eating and drinking habits, but I now work out 3 times a week. And it's an uphill struggle, Steve.
Yeah, of course.
It's just
so you're just keeping it an even keel.
I know. Well, so I can live longer to eat more cheese and beer.
Do you exercise, Karl? Do you do any exercise whatsoever?
I used to go to a gym in town, but it wasn't the sort of the hard work of doing the stuff. It was just like, it was like 60 quid a month.
Yeah.
I thought, well,
crazy, isn't it?
That's not good. So I just got out of my way to sort of walk everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Instead of jumping on a bus, like a nice day like today, walk into work or, run up the stairs.
You're skinny though.
You run up the stairs.
What? You're really skinny though.
No, but I do eat a lot of like crappy food. So I reckon, what do they say? When you get to 30, you go mental, don't you?
Yeah, they say that, play record. That's the philosophers, isn't it? When you get to 30, you go mental.
Descartes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Play record.
Better Bowie?
Oh, yeah. I brought this in. You'll love this, Steve. Oh, you know this, I think. I'm sure. This is a great Bowie track off Aladdin Sane, one of my favourite albums. And this is Lady Grinning Soul. It's beautiful.
X.
Badly Drawn Boy, Silent Sigh on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. You can do your own.
Oh, right. Okay. My name's Steve Merchant.
Yeah, Karl.
I'm Karl.
Yeah, exactly.
You've not lost interest, have you, Rick?
No, of course I haven't.
Okay. Go on.
It's silly I've said it once. I was a bit bored with just saying your names.
Okay.
I don't mind saying mine because I'm sort of interested in that.
Yeah, sure.
But the other ones are sort of more of a chore. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing in it for me.
Yes. There's no actual
I'd
game.
rather not mention either of you.
Okay.
So if you want to do it from now on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep. Okay. Well, listen, obviously still got plenty to come. We've obviously got some great music, Rick, and that's obvious.
Well, I've got a bit of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Actually, an album you introduced me to, and I'm going to play Into My Arms.
Looking forward
and
to
you
that.
know how beautiful that song is.
That's true enough.
Yeah.
But I was talking about this little bit of acting I was doing yesterday, and not wishing to be disrespectful to anyone that was involved, but there was obviously some extras or supporting artists, as I believe they're known, and all good, lovely people, really putting the effort in, doing good work and everything. But there's this one guy I was stood next to, and he's quite a tall guy, not quite as tall as me, but tall guy, quite a good-looking bloke or whatever. And I just sat there, and he obviously gets quite boring because there's a lot of just hanging around and people waiting and stuff, fixing lights. I just stood next to him, and he just went, "Oh," he was looking for something to say to me, obviously, and he went, "Looking forward to the new Guns N' Roses album?" And I went, "I didn't realise there was one on the way." Actually, he went, "Yeah, obviously they Slash won't be in it because obviously Slash is no longer with them, but bloody a sweet child of mine, one of my favourites." Just started singing some of the songs. I went, "Okay, great."
Without irony, I
absolutely
assume.
without irony. He's just wanted to get onto a discussion of Guns N' Roses. But I'll tell you this: he did not look like a rocker in any way. He looked like a bloke who would work in sort of an accountancy agency, or Barclays, behind the counter, something like that. Very well scrubbed, well groomed.
I would say there's nothing wrong with Barclays or the people who work therein.
That's true enough.
Okay.
So he goes, "Yeah, I mean, I got into them with Appetite for Destruction, the classic first album, but I even, I enjoyed the Spaghetti Incident as well. I mean, I like all of them."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Right, okay." And he goes, I said to him, "Have you ever seen them live or anything?" He went, "I have not seen them live, no, but I was lucky enough to be at Donington, Monsters of Rock, and Slash's Snake Pit was playing, which was Slash's solo effort.
Yeah.
And he went, I've never been to those live gigs before, and I was down in the mosh pit. Oh man, and I was down there, and I'll tell you this: have you been in the mosh pit?" I went, "Oh no." He goes, "Oh, it's crazy down there. It's wild. A guy threw a punch at me. I punched him, knocked him straight out. He knocked me out. So this fight went off. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I went, "Are you going to go back?" He went, "No, I won't, because once you've done something like that, you can never repeat the experience." I mean, everyone there was dressed in black. I think I was the only guy wearing a white t-shirt. I was like, okay, I could just imagine him tucked in as well.
That's why they attacked him.
Exactly.
It's like ants.
Yeah.
They
Slash himself. So yeah.
There's a termite in the nest.
Exactly.
And they just turned on him.
But so I'm going, okay, so do you go to gigs often? He went, "No, I don't think I'm ever going to go to another rock gig." And I said to him, "Why?" And he went, "I don't think any gig I go to will be able to top the experience of seeing UB40 live." And do you know what I mean? And I almost did what you did.
That's why I've never seen him live, because I don't want to end my life.
But I almost
There'd be
laughed.
no point
I
then.
thought it was a joke. I thought he was making a joke, and I was about to laugh, and I realised he was deadly serious. And I went,
UB40.
"Oh, good were they?" He went, "Absolutely blinding. One of the most incredible live experiences I've ever seen."
I imagine. Did they do songs in a sort of mock reggae style?
Apparently
for
they
2
did.
hours.
And then he began to
Excellent.
tell me which of his favourite. He went, I don't know if... I said, "Have they done anything recently? Or put anything out?" He went, "I don't think they're going to be able to top those classic albums, Bag of Riddim and Rat in the Kitchen."
I remember once when I went to sign on, okay, and I don't know what year it was, must have been like 1979 or something, and my first I left school, and tell me if I'm wrong if it wasn't out then, but this bloke was at the back with sort of like a ghetto blaster, and he was playing 1 in 10.
Right.
Obviously making a point. He was in the dole office.
Yeah.
Everyone ignored him, and when it finished playing, he turned it down. And he took a number and queued.
The days when they were a protest.
When was that? What year was that? What year did someone can pinpoint that for me. Phone in 08700 800 1234. I know it just come out.
But what was amazing is when he said that about UB40 being the best live experience I've ever seen, it was one of those moments where you thought, I never thought I'd hear someone say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know why that... I can't understand what kind of person you are. I suddenly realised at that moment there was such a chasm between us.
Is there anyone out there whose favourite band is UB40? Red Wine, maybe. UB40, yeah. Oh, they're a great bunch of blokes, though. You see them, they crack me up when I see them interviewed. They're really funny. But once you've heard one, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I imagine. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a Philistine.
Maybe there's some hidden depths to them that we don't understand. Maybe some great tracks that you could point out if you're a big fan.
Well, I'm never going to go and see him because... Why? No. Why sort of like top your experiences?
Exactly. Because you're never going to better it.
When I know I'm definitely dying, I'm going to go.
You'll summon them to play for you.
Yeah.
Get me Labour of Love live.
Do Right in the Kitchen now.
This is a little bit of a treat that I thought I would charm you with, Rick. From The Cure's Greatest Hits. This was this double CD that they brought out recently, including 18 acoustic versions of their greatest hits.
Yeah.
And this is the acoustic
What
version.
have you gone for?
I've gone for Glad You've Asked, Just Like Heaven.
Wise choice. XFM 104.9. Lovely, that one.
Brilliant, isn't it? The acoustic version of Just Like Heaven from The Cure's
Like
double
it.
CD
I'm
greatest
loving it,
hits
loving it.
collection.
Now, again, I broke the rules in the week. I met up with Karl. I had lunch with him. And we were chatting and having a cup of tea. And it got onto one of Karl's favourite programmes was the Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah, of course.
And all I can think is that he's probably the only person in Britain where they were unexpected. I mean, to him, when that twist came in, you go, gee, I can't...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Can't believe
So it was the tree that did it. I mean, he was probably the only... And we were telling all these stories of horror, and he liked horror stories. And I told him this story. And I don't know if this had come across the radio, but I told him this story. It was a short. It was a horror short.
This was a film you saw, was it?
Yeah. And what it was, it started off just had been a car crash. You see, it's a horrendous wreck. And you saw it from the point of view of the person in the car. And he was calling for his mate, and he was going, Dave... And he sort of looked over and saw a body without a head that had been thrown at. He goes, oh no, Dave. And then into the field of view came Dave, his mate, and looked at him with a look of horror. And then it sort of went black, and you realised that he was just a head, and it had been his body.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, then it came up at the end, at the executions and the French Revolution, people experience consciousness for, and he went, oh, no, he said, it wouldn't be for that long. And then he went, if it was a chicken, it would work. Imagine remaking that film, but it's two chickens in horrendous car crash.
Their own fault for driving.
It would work. No, he wasn't having that.
Yeah.
No, it was too long. I think he said, how long was this film? I went, 5 minutes. He went, no. It would work if it was a chicken.
I like the way that Karl in something like when you relate an incident like that, he's appalled and offended and annoyed by the people that made it, even though he's never seen it.
Oh, he's annoyed. Yeah, like
I want to see it. I think it's a good idea,
Yeah.
but they should have thought it through a bit more.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite Tales of the Unexpected, one that you remember particularly that shook you up?
Yeah, we were talking about the one on where there's some woman in prison. Have you seen that one?
I can't remember them all.
Right, this woman's in prison.
Yeah.
And she gets a bit friendly with the guy who takes the dead bodies out.
Right.
And he said, I can get you out of here. He said, what you've got to do, right? You've got to, at midnight.
When you hear the bell toll,
Yeah,
that means there's been a dead body.
Yeah, there's been a dead body. So what you've got to do is go into like the place where all the dead bodies are, get in the first coffin on the right, and then I'll come along and carry you out, and you can run away and escape, right? So she goes, yeah, all right then. So she hears the bell go.
I'll bury you, right? And then I'll come back later and dig you up.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's the
that
point.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Trust me, Karl. It
All right,
really
then,
matters.
okay.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to ruin this for people at home.
Yeah.
Can I just skip to the end? I would imagine that she gets buried and he doesn't come back, and she has to get buried alive.
Better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, she does it. She gets into the coffin.
Yeah, shh.
Go on.
Right. So she gets in the coffin. And she's lying there for ages.
She's
and
buried.
She can feel a bit of movement going on. So she's obviously, being carried somewhere. So she's thinking, this is it, I'm getting out. And she's lying there for ages and thinking, why ain't someone coming and lifting the lid off this? Do you know what I mean? Letting me get out. So she's really bored. She gets a lighter out, right? Lights it to have a look at who she's lying on. It's only the fella who said he'd help escape.
Oh.
How bad is that?
That is... How bad is that?
So it is quite important that she's buried alive then, isn't it? In retrospect, you realise that the jeopardy is that she's buried alive and can't get out.
Yeah.
It makes it so much worse, doesn't it, than just like lying in the morgue and going, actually, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work.
Look at Karl's face. Having told that, he's so pleased. His face is lit up. He's beaming like a child.
Have you seen any?
Is that your favourite horror thing ever?
That's a good one. And
Let's see if anyone knows what the finger is. When that bloke was under the ground, wiggling his finger.
We're talking about one with some fella who's stuck in the ground or something.
This is a motif I noticed in your particular favourite ones.
Yeah.
Right.
People stuck in the ground. Go on.
Right. So she's
It's a fella, is it?
Yeah, a fella stuck. Now, I seem to remember it just being his foot, to be honest, being stuck in a hole. And
No, he was under the ground and he got a little thing out of the pavement and he put his finger up and wiggled it to try and attract attention. Then you see a woman come along and her stiletto heel just knocks his finger off.
You see, I'm wondering whether it's the same one as I saw.
Yeah, it could be two like that, couldn't there?
They were running out of ideas by the last series.
It's a big theme in Hollywood.
Or what was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this.
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales
No,
Unexpected
this is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one on Tales Unexpected, right? And it was these two gents. What they used to do, they look down the obituaries and they'd blackmail the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like might be a priest or a doctor, something like that. And they'd go and they'd say, he bought some erotic stuff from us before he died, and he owes 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff. And they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing. They just didn't want them, so just pay him, right? And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and they go, your father. He goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. They did it. He goes, he couldn't have. He's blind. Right? And that was the twist. And Karl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because people... professional pornographers don't tend to call it, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Karl. Look at him nodding like he's caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do, 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 do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't
Occasional
it?
groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Karl, that they could have had a Braille porno. Now, have you thought of that?
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Karl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Karl.
Yeah, the cheese grate has only entered the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
Oh.
Next, we've got White Van Karl.
Oh, excellent. Star Sailor, poor, misguided fool. Well, it's time. Well,
go on.
That time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White Van Man, Karl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah.
This is where we just hijack an idea from The Sun, which is White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh, no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because The Sun sort of like pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
upper hand.
Yeah.
And they ask him about the the hot potatoes. This week, Karl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts, please, on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it was
wore a burgundy tie.
I thought that's it. Yeah, he just it didn't show respect. He just had a burgundy tie on.
See that? That's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing what
publicity.
What a good woman she was, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday, you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, when you send a card...
What would you suggest?
Well,
whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair. How would you liven up the sermon?
Just little things in the card. I mean, you're just writing stuff like, well, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy...
that'd be good. So supposing someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, at least you're still alive.
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe like if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah, or those glasses that are eyes on sort of springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad about someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, these sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone nan dies. She was 102, and it's sort of like I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper today.
I don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of various people who were lining the funeral kind of route yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired.
Well,
she's just tired and bored. It's so transparent that it's not crying. It's
most
just, what are we doing
when their
here?
nan dies?
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like.
But what is a 5-year-old girl going to be? Why is she going to be crying? The Queen Mum said, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No. The Queen Mum. Oh, not the Tweenies. No, it's all in a minute.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Oh, dear.
I mean, I know. I'm sure, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she was a great woman. And obviously, it's always sad when someone dies. But it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing for hours upon hours to see her dying in state. Because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of history.
Must be gutting if you're over from Sweden and you find out that, the Queen Mum's died.
Oh, you must be devastated.
You probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Karl.
I think we've covered that.
What do you make of the? What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here.
Isn't it just choosing the eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that where will it lead? Where will it end, Karl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah,
that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you've brought up that will change your features and the way you are, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, I was growing up on this estate.
This is going to be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very.
Was it like being a man in a dress?
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What does she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Look like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make the place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't. And a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
So you've seen a horse with it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of leather?
Right?
Oh, that's great. Did Big Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh. Sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after?
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. All right then, but keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Karl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop.
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well.
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
that's why the family didn't have any money. They'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Karl, in case they're listening.
Yeah. And
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
so I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round and sort of go back to our house. You had the traditional method of transport. Yeah. And the horse was in the lounge. Reading a paper. Just like walking around. What? And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups. What? This is genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean? Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this, because it's always going to just unravel and unravel. It's going to go on for hours. Let's play a track,
deeper
Karl.
and deeper. It's like an onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country. I've never heard anything like that. I
just think of a big sort of like orange carpet, and it's got a rediffusion telly, and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
From that classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto
genetically modified babies, but
and then
somehow
Karl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was.
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently.
Well,
I don't know if that's
you
relevant.
don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is like make a picture for you so you understand.
What
a
a
picture
like?
it
Who
is.
did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk,
Quirky, yeah.
right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to it.
Okay, all right.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her husband?
No, her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse.
Yeah, from I don't know where. I think there was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
but
they
didn't
get
have
caught?
it for long.
No.
Sorry, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in
what
there.
happened was I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money. And they came out with all these ideas and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know. I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
a
a good
charity
money-making
eater.
idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So I asked my mum for some, because she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut? You didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah, they
soil.
wouldn't have survived. But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit rough. So as I went,
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
so I got up to the door and they opened the door and it was one of them houses where no carpet.
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
And the horse was walking around the living room. I looked quite happy and everything because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and
Sure.
a telly and that?
Telling you that.
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London. the other
Commodore
day.
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, that dog is happier than most dogs,
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open. It's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though. They're always all right. So that's what I was saying. I think this horse was doing all right for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's what
That's
what
by
we
the
were talking
by.
about. Yeah. So anyway, this family who's a bit what we were talking about. It was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids and all that stuff, yeah.
Right. Now, what I'm saying is you could say, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So
Come on, work with him.
So you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do. They inject it with something or whatever.
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
And get a little baby, and there it is. It looks the same. Now, the thing is, you separate. You both go off and do your own things.
Yep.
Right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well. You give it good food and
I'm a
that,
good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right? So then it changes its looks. It goes a bit fat. It gets tired easily and that sort of thing. Now, when this family...
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
Right. This family who had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, well, And the weird thing is, it was a good looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying like abusing it, but it used to run around. It used to play out till like 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit.
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars.
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover? Did it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy.
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
And chasing cars on that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Wow.
Life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
Oh, you're always right, Carl.
Finally, White Van Man, what do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is that
a
true?
concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why? Because
Dunno.
like it's easier to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting. That should be his comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins. Is that should be interesting for meatballs. Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Karl. I don't think even you can top that.
X.
Black Rebel Marks out of whatever happened to my rock and roll. Well, near the end of the show, just time for the re-education of Karl revisited. Mm-hmm. Still got Nick Cave to come, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Now, Karl, you read a quote book. What did you learn from it? What? Tell us some pearls of wisdom. Just keep it down to one or two, your favourite things and why you like them.
Right. Well, you said just pick a couple.
Yeah.
Right. So I wrote a couple down last night. And what I did, so they weren't boring, right? I've sort of.
Don't think you can ever be boring.
No.
Go on.
But what I've done, I've took like different ones. So I've took a good one that I think, that's a good quote. That was worth putting in a book. I've put one that isn't really a quote, so I don't understand it.
Oh yeah.
One that isn't clever. and a funny one. So a bit of variation all out of one book.
Oh, how long did this take you? What did you do? Did you sort of like sit?
About half an hour last night.
And did you sit sort of like quietly at a desk or something?
No, just in the lounge with the telly turned down.
Oh, right.
Just to give a bit of light to the room. Just had it on, but turned down.
Have you figured out lights yet?
So, so the first one, never heard of him. This guy called Dean Axon.
Right.
And this is a good one. He said, the memo is written not to inform the reader, but to protect the writer.
That's good, yeah.
Stuff, that's very good.
That's
It relates a lot to, office life and so on.
Yeah, modern world and that. Mm-hmm. Right, so then I thought, so I wrote that down because I liked it, and that's what he said to do. Second one isn't really a quote, it's more of a poem.
Okay.
So how does that work?
Well, that's okay.
Just read it.
Right, well, it's about suicide.
Okay.
Right? Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, so you might as well live.
Lovely.
That's from Dorothy Parker.
I'll tell you what.
It is, yeah.
I hate it. I hate that.
Why?
It's nothing to me, that.
I think that,
it's just a weak, shallow piece of mock comedy.
This is why I did it in that order, because that's what I thought.
It's like a zany vicar would write from living in Frome when he's about 55 and get it published in I hate it.
All right, so you're saying you're not a fan of Dorothy Parker's work, right? Yeah. Now the next one, Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Right, he's known, isn't he?
Yes.
Look what he comes up with. All art is quite useless.
Well, what's up with that?
Well, it isn't added art.
No, I know, but it's... Go on, next.
But how has art helped you? How has it been useful to you?
It was a bit of it's one of the only things I like doing at school.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When I made that little clay man, fixing a car.
Yeah.
You made a clay man fixing a car. I'd forgotten about that.
How can he... I think that's stupid. And especially that it's gone in a book.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's easy to diss things.
Yeah, it's harder to do things out. You're right.
I don't think art is useless, by the way. But you don't have to agree or disagree with some of these things. Some of them, sometimes it's just their thoughts put eloquently or poetically, isn't it? And it's just
to provoke a reaction as much as anything.
Yeah.
Well, and the good one, Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, sorry, but let's go back there. The irony is that is art. That he was an artist, wasn't he? So,
but so you don't like Oscar Wilde, but you prefer Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, go on.
Ozzy Osbourne, cracking one. This funny and educational. I bit a head off a bat the other night. It was like eating a crunchy wrapped in a chamois leather.
Genius.
Oh, you're right. You're right, Karl.
Yeah.
So there's.
What do you like about that? The way he's described what it is like.
I think, if someone, you can imagine what it's like, because I like crunchies.
Yeah.
And,
It's like
and a chamois leather is really chewy, so you can imagine that's like the skin.
So you like
And
his
the crunchy bits-
his descriptive
Yeah,
writing.
The crunchy bit is like the bones and that.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
But Karl, it's interesting because you've analysed Aussie there, and in a way, that is the first step on maybe doing a new English GCSE.
Yeah,
being able to study
you said why
language
you
and
liked
understand
it.
and-
You said because it describes you've never eaten about yourself.
Yeah, but my teacher, Mrs. Kane, if I would have come into school with, a quote by Ozzy Osbourne, she wouldn't have been happy.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference between.
She'd go, right, Karl, get your horse and go home.
Well, listen though, we were talking about other quotes.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Do you know his one?
Yeah.
What one giant leap for mankind?
Do you know it wasn't meant to be that? It says it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, right?
Yep.
It was meant to be, this is one small step for a man,
Right.
i.e.
Yes.
me, the individual, on a microcosmic level, one giant leap for mankind. And he mucked it up, because if you say this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, man there means mankind.
I know, it's embarrassing.
So you shouldn't give people, he's not a trained actor.
That's true.
He's more of an astronaut, to be
Has he won
honest.
any awards, Rick?
No, there are no awards. Is he BAFTA nominated? Don't think so.
But listen, right, he said another quote as he got back into the rocket. Have you heard about it?
Go on.
We run out of time, and I'm just wondering whether it's worth saving as a bit of a teaser for next week.
What did Neil Armstrong say as he got back into the rocket?
Yeah.
Is it going to
Shocks
be
away.
something like, that was boring, wasn't it? The mic's not still on, is it?
Yeah.
They're not still listening.
Well, that's what I was saying to you. He could have said that, and it would have
That's
still
not
gone down.
cheese.
It would have still gone down as an amazing quote, wouldn't it?
Well, listen, I think you should save it, Karl.
You tosser, I was meant to go
No,
first.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Karl. We'll squeeze it in before the end of the show, because Ricky, you got to play your song for the lovers.
Oh,
we should
yes.
play this.
I don't think we'll fit it in. We might have to save it.
Don't worry, we'll see what we can do.
Well,
Let's
next
play,
week, by the way, you've got happiness quotations, a collection of thoughtful words and beautiful paintings. I'll just give you an example of one. Happiness is a perfume you can pour on others you cannot pour on others without getting a few drops on yourself. Lovely that, isn't it?
Brilliant.
You can't be happy with that. This is Nick Cave and the Bad Seed from the Boatman's Call. It's a beautiful song. Any song that starts off, I don't believe in an interventionist God is all right by me. And this is Into My Arms. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Into My Arms. Well, that's it. We've run out of time.
We have indeed.
So no time for Karl's quote. That'll have to come next week.
Yeah, we'll save that for next
Neil
time.
Armstrong. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.
All right, Rick. Come on, I'm sounding a bit chirpier. It's not that depressing.
Well, yeah.
Sports next. You know how excited you are?
Go on.
You love the sport, do you?
New order and here to stay on XFM 104.9. Well, we're here to stay, aren't we, Steve?
True enough.
Well, for another 4 weeks anyway. Then we're off. Then
That's
4 more
right.
shows. They'll have to order a new DJ. All right.
That was genius.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
I'm
It's
Ricky-
as simple as that.
I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Mitchell, and
Oh.
Karl Pilkington.
Oh, man.
Did anyone read the Guardian yesterday? It was Steve's big. We were interviewed together.
I've
Steve-
never been interviewed before in the paper. I've certainly never had my photo in a national
We were very
paper
excited. We loved the interview. It was talking about our top 10 albums between us. We loved it. We talked really fast, like school kids. We were excited. It was a great interview. And all the way through, it was Ricky Gervais with his writing partner, Steve Mitchell.
before. Stephen Mitchell. It's
He
not
was
even
gutted.
like Merchant.
He phoned me up the night before and he was gutted. And I know it's awful. And it was big letters and just all the way through and the caption. And it's just like, oh, God.
But it's embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? It's embarrassing because it's like I was trying to get in the paper. I couldn't believe my luck. And then that just draws attention to the fact that I'm not a celebrity and consequently they can't even remember my name.
But the worst thing was that one of my favourite albums of all time, like I said in there, was Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. And I said, because, I think one of the most beautiful songs ever is If You See Her, Say Hello. And of course, these people were sort of transcribing it from, a dictaphone. It came out, my favourite song of all time was If You See a Sailor. If
If you see a sailor. Oh, hello. Fruity.
Oh, Bob Drillboyd's up on the trap with Where's the Sailor Gone to? With Ricky Gervais and Steve Mitchellings. Oh.
I don't know. They must have thought my name was Mitchell all along. They obviously never knew.
The evidence is there.
But I don't know why. It was like they reported in the paper that we'd been nominated for a Sony, and it said Ricky Gervais, who hosts the breakfast show on XFM, and it's that sort of, it's just guessing. It's like, presumably someone's gone, does he host the breakfast show? And someone has gone, yeah. And that's their research done.
Yeah, but there was a thing about The Office set in Swindon. That's someone going, just writing an article about The Office. Where's it set? Swindon, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even we research the show now and again, don't we?
Yeah.
Even we look things up. Well, actually, people phone in. Usually
Yeah.
that fella. What's that fella's name that calls in who's not got the website? He's got a funny name. Oh. Gilwell or something.
James.
Phone in if you remember what his name is.
Yeah.
James at Lose Control.
Yeah, what's his surname though?
Oh, for goodness sake, this is just going to be interesting to him
Yeah.
and his friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You remember?
We better play another record.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. If
Johnny
you like,
Mango.
Mango, that's it, yeah. Now, if you like Elvis Costello's Alison, or maybe
Rick, I do.
Freeze, My Brother Jake,
One of my favourites.
stay tuned. Badly Drawn Boy, Silent Sigh,
Cracking tune, that.
XFM 104.9. Maybe there'll be a few silent sighs around London on the 4th of May when that's it, we're off the air for
We are
3
indeed.
months.
Yeah. Wow, you're really getting into the DJ patter today.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Slick
It's only
things.
taken, 5 years?
Yeah.
Now you're finally as good as Foxy.
Coming up,
Yes.
that anecdote that Karl didn't get to last week about Neil Armstrong.
Oh, right.
I can't wait. It's because he took 3 links telling us about the horse.
Yes, of course.
The horse. Think of that.
Wow.
I went out with Karl on Thursday night.
Right.
Right. It was one of the most enjoyable nights. We just went out for about 5 or 6 pints, a little crawl, and adventures happened around Karl.
Yeah.
And just me sitting talking to him was just incredible. I'm thinking that a competition would be win a pint with Karl.
Yes.
Just
That'd be a hell
they
of a
just
gift.
have to go for a pint, and they can ask him anything they want.
Yeah.
He's just great. We met my friend, didn't we? Tell him all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Did you enjoy it as much as Ricky, Carl?
Yeah, there was things I learned as well, which was good.
Okay.
You know his mate Robin, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. You'll discuss that later.
I'll tell you later about.
He's got all his near-death experiences to come. Win a pint, and of course, coming up, Karl's homework was the quotes, and Karl's come up with a great idea to show that anyone can do quotes. He's invented a thing like faking it, where he's got 2 real quotes,
Right.
and he's made one up.
Okay.
And he's going to fool us. I bet we won't be able to.
Brilliant. Sorry, what was the challenge last
Look at him looking at us. What's the matter with you?
It's just that before you were like, no, this is good for you, but
What?
now it's turning into a game.
At your expense?
Yeah.
Have you only just dawned on you?
Karl, well, I'm joking. It's great, honestly. It's really good.
What was the Carl challenge last week? You said it. I thought we did the quotes last week.
No, but I gave him a book on
Happiness.
happiness. It's all about happiness
Right.
and what the pursuit of happiness, and it's in sort of like quote form and everything. But Karl's going to do a couple of ones and faking it just to show. I mean, because he's been coming up with fables all week as well. Now he comes up with something, he goes, "That's a fable, isn't it?" And he tells me so he's getting good now.
Forward to it all. If you play another track, what have you got? You got something fresh?
I
haven't you?
brought in. I saw Elvis Costello and Jonathan Ross a couple of weeks ago, and he did just an acoustic version of Alison, and I forgot what an amazing song it is. And it's just he's fantastic. He's the man. Listen to this guitar sound. It's so beautiful. My aim is true. To provide quality entertainment of a Saturday. That was
awesome.
Elvis Costello and his attractions, and Alison on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Steve Mitchell here and Karl Pilkington.
Oh, isn't it?
It's going all right. It's going all right. I obviously been doing some acting, as you know. I mentioned it last week, doing this sort of comedy pilot. This week, Karl, you're going to be loving this. I've been doing stunts. I swear to God, I've been doing my own stunts with the guy that once made Christopher Reeve fly as Superman, right? And I was doing stunts. I had to do a thing where my character has to commit suicide.
I wonder
Don't think we didn't bring that up. Were you anywhere near that horse? No? Fine, let's carry on. And my character has to commit suicide, and he has to sort of leap off a building. So the first shot.
That's something for comedy.
Well, we were up on a roof, and obviously they had the crash mats and stuff, and I had to kind of leap off and land on the mats and stuff. And obviously I was petrified the whole time because I was wearing my glasses. Petrified that they might get broken. So I was like not really doing it properly, kind of leaping like when, you know, people when they can't dive into a swimming pool, and so they put that one foot out first to sort of break their fall.
Was it you that told me that you could never get into fights?
No, I can never get into fights or go in a mosh pit because of my glasses. I've missed out in life because I can't. Because if I was in a fight and I say, "Come on, then you are," you know, and I was in a pub or something, they just have to whiff off my glasses, just knock them off. I'm done for. I got nothing.
Really short-sighted, are you?
Yeah, but anything's an advantage in a fight, isn't it? And the fact that they're just a blur is bound to hamper my otherwise brilliant, ninja skills. So I've never got into a fight. I've never been in a fight at all. I've never, as I say, been in a mosh pit.
On the wire.
So this was making me sort of a bit worried. And anyway, so then I think, well, fine, I've done my stunt. And I did it, and everyone clapped. They were pleased with it, and the guy who said I was very good. So then they drive us to the next location, right? I'm thinking I've done my stunts now. There's a crane. I think, what's going on here? Now they need to shoot me. Like, I've already done the stunt where I've sort of leapt off the building. Now they've got to actually see me falling, right? So I have to get strapped in with this huge belt, and they clip wires onto me, and they hoist me about 30, 40 foot into the air on this wire, and and then they drop me at great speed, and I have to scream and shout. It was partly acting.
Glasses on?
Glasses. By this time, I'd managed to get some wire fixed to my glasses so they wouldn't come off my head. They
were stunt glasses. They were doing their own stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So they hoist me into there on this thing. They do a couple of sort of demo versions, and just to gradually ease me up higher and higher so I can become acclimatized to it. And they get me about 30 feet up, and they got these huge crash mats, like those great big ones you always see kind of stunt people have. And they set up the camera and stuff down below. And while I'm up in the air dangling there, they remove those crash mats and they replace them with those really thin ones that you always see like teenage gymnasts using on Blue Peter. Do you know what I mean? The really thin ones they used to have at school, right? And I'm looking down at this, and I'm thinking now, they may as well have shouted up, if you fall, you're done for, but we might be able to protect the equipment. Do you know what I mean? It was so rubbish.
But you weren't going to land on the floor, presumably.
Well, the idea was that the wire would stop that.
Oh, I see. But there was no safety. That was their safety.
That was the safety net.
Why did they not leave the real ones in?
Because they had to, I don't know, for the shot and stuff, they had to be able to do it. But anyway, what was particularly joyful is one of the other actors pointed this out, right? This is the this is the health and safety statement from the stunt guys, right? And they obviously have to write up this health and safety statement about how they do it. And it says, we confirm that we have proper safety policies, procedures to comply with the Health and Safety Act 1974, and that we will not do anything which compromises the health, safety and welfare of your production crew, actors or members of the public. If the above situation changes, we'll advise you immediately. I mean, if they think that maybe they do want to hurt members of the public, look at that fat one over there, just try and hit her and bring him down.
Don't worry about that one. Don't worry. She can take it. She can take it.
But so that reassured me, obviously. And now my whole body's racked with pain. Limbs, arms, head, neck. Unbelievable.
Well, is the shot worth having?
Probably not.
You wish you had...
Do you know what the cameraman whispered to me? The cameraman whispered to me, he'd probably never use it.
Yeah, Steve, you'll wish you hadn't told that wimpy tale when you hear... just three random tales of near-death experiences that Karl told me.
Right.
Coming up. I mean, honestly.
Really?
At least you had stunt people and crash mats.
Yeah.
And you got paid.
Yeah. The things that he got up to just through stupidity will put you to... What? What one of them wasn't through stupidity?
Cakes.
I'm already excited.
The cake one?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Sorry, you had a near-death experience involving a cake.
Hold on, I've got three. I've got the paper round, the snicking slate, and the Mr. Freeze. What's the cake one?
Yeah, I suppose. Look at the cream cake.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Play
now you're
record.
talking in riddles.
Play
Can we
a
have these
record.
next?
Yeah. Play a record. Cooper Temple Claws. Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. Sex FM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so me and Karl went out for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
We started off,
good.
and you met my mate Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you learned?
Do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. He, what I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him. He never answered me. He was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
But this is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
Now, straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
Did he mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well,
Because it's not true.
Imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin. I also told him.
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army? He went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever. He was messing about in the woods.
Messing about in the woods?
Shouldn't he have been fighting?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was they said, right, the thinnest part of something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't.
They did. That's
oh,
that
right.
thing.
So he's gone in via the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course, it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it. And it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Karl seems to have forgotten.
Because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes the smell of bacon.
Including worms.
Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They love
Remember
bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No.
Please.
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little fella.
You're changing it now. You weren't having any of it last week.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
A little like maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the body, they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story. And
Right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, it did work.
GI bacon.
So this is why
so what the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Karl, why would I sit on ham then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, Robin left, and I tried to chase him, but he got away. He knows that and then we had a few pints, and then Karl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records.
Because
What we got?
we've got one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it. My girlfriend worked on it, but
Yeah.
you were going to play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was actually. Bizarrely enough, I was going to play some I Am Clute, and this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. This is called To You. It's a good track. That's I Am Clute, a track called To You from the Teachers soundtrack. That's also got, I noticed, the Electric Soft Parade, The Hives, Star Sailor, Feeder, Turin Breaks, Mercury Rev on there. It's a good little collection.
Lovely. Karl has just had confirmation. He's looking smug because someone phoned up and went, it is true. It's a Laogai chi worm and you wrap bacon around your head. That's all the bloke knew as well.
Yeah.
And his name was Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No.
And he said, see, that's why the Robin thing isn't so weird. He said, but when you said he tried it with cheese, he said, I was having none of it. He's got standards.
X.
Strokes, hard to explain. Like Karl, really.
Yes. Yes.
So, Karl, concentrate.
You go on.
So we'll leave the worm with the bacon wrapped around the head, shall we?
Well, if you're ever caught in the jungle,
Yeah. Always carry some
Bit of Danish.
Good advice. Lovely. So, would you like to start on your to Steve, because I've heard all these.
We won't do them all.
We'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but like they do the weekly shopping on like a Friday.
Yeah.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in, you know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Otherwise he'd have been in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions because he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right. So anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, and chocolate biscuits, and you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. It's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did you sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yeah. So they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right? Yeah. So I thought, I'll have one of them. So I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like my mum and dad are putting the stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back. Right, straight away, just right back like
Swallow
that.
it,
Right,
yeah.
But it went down the wrong way, right? So
What, down your shirt?
So I was like, oh God, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, and she's going, oh God, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. If there was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and mint imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, she's going, oh God, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it. And
So-
she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had like, I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
His share. I love it.
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in a lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to like I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground. And my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying, that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him. And my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
You look like Marilyn Manson.
And so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me. And it came up, and I was all right.
What, the whole
like,
popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand. Because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it. So it went down your sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been all right.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no,
yeah.
you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on.
one.
So, but
No. But the weird thing is, like for like 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of a special person. I went to school.
I'm not sat up saying nothing.
I did full days.
a special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't like wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turned over.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah,
Well,
did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that where you've like felt like I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell, we'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and like, I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean? I
You had
wasn't
no
scared.
regrets?
No. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it.
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're
around.
spreading information to people, vital information.
Giving a service, and no one else is around. You know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around his bike.
So getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right? No matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round. And
why'd you get up at 4:30?
Because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch Pink Panther?
And then do the paper.
He went, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
He'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30, I was up and about. And this morning, it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow. I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p. So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
conscientious.
So anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it. I've told her I'm still going. So, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning and put all my kit on. And I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had like a big anorak on with the fur on. I had like waterproof pants and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out and tried to open the door and it was locked. I thought, oh, God. So she'd locked it so I couldn't go out. So I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh, God, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window.
God.
Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm like, trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch. And my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know, like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah.
The little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding on to the wall and my foot on the thing so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there.
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing, a big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle. There was nothing you could do. Do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, not messing around.
Yeah.
So
and you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad! Hurry up. Panther. Ever so pink. Oh.
So that was close to death because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, you know, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving. Sure. So
well, and, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, no. There must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's got to be one. That would explain so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said, I bet I can't kick me out. And I said, I bet I can. And
I don't remember this. You didn't tell me this one.
I bet it can what?
I was in the garden summer's day, and it was that era when like doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was like messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said,
what a kid he must have been.
My dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? What, you mean kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been like 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on like the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But then like get my foot down quick enough and land on
you paused to say, there, I've done it.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So, to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm going to die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Wait. He said, I don't like the feel.
Karl, always check your balls.
Do you
I
check
don't
yours?
like the feel. Why don't you like the feel of your own balls?
they just, I mean, you know that I don't like bodies anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It worries me a bit that you've got all that going on in your body, right? And your skin's keeping it all in place.
Right. Stop. We're going down a whole other avenue of discussion. Let's play a track. Let's come back to it.
Oh, right. I've brought in this. This is free. You'll know from the jeans commercials.
Yeah, All Right Now.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
All Right Now, yeah. But this is a great little track. This is My Brother Jake.
X.
Stereophonics, Vegas 2 times, XFM 104.9 into the last hour.
Yeah.
And then 3 shows to go.
That's true enough.
Until we're off the air. I'm Ricky Gervais.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Carl.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Go on, tell you. We cut short last week, weren't we? You had an amazing story about Neil Armstrong, didn't you?
Well, we've been doing quotes, haven't we? Like famous quotes.
Sure.
Yes. I've, gone down in history.
Yeah.
And I was saying, quotes don't really matter. It's more the situation that you're in than the quote itself.
Go on.
So like Neil Armstrong, if he'd have said,
Tie bacon round your head.
I'm as happy as a pig in
yeah,
dust.
that would have still gone down in history as like being the thing that Neil Armstrong said, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Space is driven in mental, probably would have been.
But he chose to say something profound and meaningful to befit the situation. He got it wrong. Actually, it's a small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But he was meant to say.
We discussed this last week. Rick. Stop showing off.
Well, no, but people might have listened last week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I can't imagine.
Well,
people
we better tell them every week then.
Yeah, but he said he should have said this is one small step for a man.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a good effort, and that's quite.
And that's an example of what I'm saying. The fact that he got it wrong, but it still went down in history.
Right.
But anyway, the bit that and it didn't happen anyway, did it?
What do you mean it didn't happen anyway?
That's what a lot of people say. That no one's actually been on the moon.
Ah, yes, of course.
They filmed it in Teddington Studios.
Well, they were saying something about there was shadow on the film, and you wouldn't get shadow on the film, and there's all sorts of things.
These people that you always quote as they.
Who are they?
Are they living in jars? Are they little fellas in jars?
Look,
Go on.
Do they appear to you in dreams?
I've spoken to different people about it, and there's loads of little things that if you watch that programme, of them being on the moon, there is no way they could have done it.
Right.
Done.
Fine. Yeah.
Done.
Anyway.
That's put to bed.
Yeah.
But anyway, as he was getting back in the spaceship on the moon, or whether it be a TV studio, he said, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Right.
Have you heard this?
No.
And the reason he said that was because when he was a young kid, and he was, I think it was Croucher, but when he was playing as a young kid in his garden, he was playing baseball with his mate, and he chucked the ball to his mate, and his mate hit the ball, and the ball went over the fence to the next door neighbour. Right, so he goes, right, I'll just nip over and get the ball. And as he was getting the ball, the window was open to his neighbour's house, and he heard like the woman shouting at her husband saying, "I'm not going to be giving you a bit rude, so if you've got a kid in the car or whatever, turn it down." What? Yeah, that's covered that. Yeah, right.
Genius.
I'm not. No matter how many times you ask me, I'm not going to be giving you oral sex. The day I do that, man would have walked on the moon. Right?
Yeah.
He grows up, he gets on the moon, and he remembers all that story. And as he gets back in the spaceship, he says, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Now, do you know, I have to say, I've heard that story before, but when I heard it, the woman said, the day I give you a blowjob is the day the boy next door walks on the moon, which makes it all the more profane
Impossible.
and enjoyable. Yeah, and unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've heard the same story, Carl.
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
I love that.
Right, so not only have you remembered that anecdote, which may or may not be true, but of course you've also proven
The
that...
day I give you a blowjob, that kid in the garden's probably going to walk on the moon and say something about giant leaps.
Exactly.
But you must have heard the thing that it never actually happened.
Yes, we've all heard
Yeah.
it. We've all dismissed it as nonsense.
And moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got on with our life.
Right, Carl.
What?
Should we do White Van Man?
Oh, you didn't prepare me for that. We better play a track and then I'll
Okay.
I'll fish out the newspaper and stuff.
This is a good little bootleg track here from Meats and Poultry here. They've mixed A with Outcast.
Right.
Chorus is great.
Is it highly illegal?
It is.
So people shouldn't rush to their tape machines now and press play
Okay,
and
so
record.
whatever you do, don't record this now if you're recording it. Hold on, don't say anything. Well, that bootleg's going under the name of Nothing Miss Jackson, I think, by Meats and Poultry. So there you go.
I do love these bootleg things because they're so pointless, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's fun to do. Yeah,
exactly.
They're
really good
they're
fun.
great. But not as much fun as White Van, Karl.
White Van Karl, absolutely. Do you want to explain the premise?
Well, we take the Sun asks someone else and asks Karl. It's as simple as that.
That's
The
it.
Sun have just taken a normal person. We flipped it. We're going to ask Karl the same questions about the week's news.
Yeah, just basically your opinions, Karl, as ever. What do you make of, well, obviously the big news, David Beckham's broken foot? Is this a big concern for you?
No, I mean, it's sad. You know, it's sadder for him more than anyone because, you know, to like be in the World Cup is like the main thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's still a young lad, and I don't think he'll give up. I reckon he'll still turn up. He'll be all right. And yeah, good luck to the lad. You know, I like David. I'm not going to slag him off.
Wise words.
He says that like he knows him, like he's popping round for drinks later.
Yeah, like we tried to stitch you up. Go on.
But obviously yesterday, was it yesterday? I think maybe Thursday. The Sun printed a big picture of David's foot and encouraged everyone to touch it at midday, because hoping that this would somehow, if we all thought and prayed together, somehow that would help his foot heal. Do you believe in that?
No.
Any belief in that?
No, you're going down the old like Uragella route, aren't you?
Sure.
I know it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it's nice effort and everything. It sort of cheers everyone up.
Hold on. You believe in ghosts and warlocks
Yeah.
and licking toads. Why is that any more stupid than all those things?
It's not going to work, is it?
All right.
Fine.
It's rubbish.
Okay.
Okay, what about this then? There's apparently now available £1.5 million apartments available on an exclusive ship which sails around the world.
Yeah, it's like
What do you make of that?
it's a huge thing, and you live on it, and it's. I mean, in theory,
How big is it?
it's mental.
Do you know
it's
when-
like
Huge
a
luxury
town
liner.
centre.
Do you know how
Because-
like people say that the Titanic was the biggest ship? Was that only then? They've got
Yes.
bigger ones now, haven't they?
Yeah,
A lot bigger.
oil tankers are much bigger, and yeah,
No, but actual
liners are bigger. Yeah. It was the biggest then. Yeah.
Because my mum told me that there was one that was that big that it had like rough areas on it.
Don't go starboard.
Oh God!
No, but do you know what I mean? It was like
we're thinking of moving. We're seeing
Yeah.
the captain. We're thinking of moving to a nicer area.
Oh, yeah. I've heard they're very rough in aft.
Oh God! Oh, that's
They steal your
fantastic.
tyres.
A ship's so big there was rough areas. Oh,
how big is this one that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't give me the specifications here, but
they're
it's
huge. They're huge. In theory, I mean, it's that thing with it's obviously marketing, but they're going to solve the overpopulation crisis, where soon we'll all just be floating around the sea.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I can see that because I mean, think about it, right? I've been talking to Ricky about it. I was hoping to buy somewhere in London, but there is no way in this world that I can afford it, right? And you look at all the wasted space, like with the Thames. All it's doing is like collecting crisp packets and stuff and Coke cans, and people have to clean it up. Whereas if you got a load of boats on there,
Yeah.
problem
Perfect.
solved.
Yeah. Would you live on a boat?
problem solved.
What's his name did it, didn't he? What's that programme? Is it Bergerac?
Noah. Oh, Bergerac?
There was one where he lived on a boat. I think it's quite...
That was
Nine
a
or
shoestring.
something? Yeah, I'd give it a go anyway.
Noah.
I'd like to see you living in the air, maybe in a giant hot air balloon.
Yeah, all right. But no, the boat thing, because it is going to get bad as well, isn't it? They're saying that the water's melting or whatever.
The water's melting.
The ice is melting.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more
polar ice.
water and less land. So in
Yeah.
the future, it's probably going to be the way we're going to be living, isn't it?
Have you seen that film Waterworld?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
Because
Is that what happens?
that sort of predicts that, yeah.
What, are they saying that the ice thing is
Exactly,
melt?
yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you get, I think I read that like a big chunk of ice fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like that. I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water and it's melted. And they said, oh, it's bad news, that something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube and it's going to freeze it up again. Are you with me?
Not really, Carl.
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube
Yeah.
the size of the Empire State Building,
Yeah.
stick it in the water,
Yeah.
it's going to make it's going to stick back on again, isn't it?
Well,
It's
no,
gonna stick back
only
on
if it
again.
freezes up again.
Yeah, well,
do
it
you mean
will
it's gonna-
freeze up. The
Well, it
water's going
won't,
to get
but-
cold again because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the
because
ice
it's not.
melts.
If you put one the size of an Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's going to make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but I'm using my fables. Imagine the world.
Use your brain instead.
Imagine the world. Imagine the sea,
Yeah.
like the Arctic or whatever, as
Yeah.
a glass of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A big ice cube falls into it.
Yeah.
It freezes. It melts back on again. So we're all right. I don't know why everyone's worrying.
Thank God for that. I was getting panicked.
Oh, fine.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that will happen.
Should we play some more music and then come back to White
Yeah,
Van Car?
this is better than ever.
This is dynamite this week.
The Shining, yeah, on XFM 104.9. We're doing White Van Karl. Got another one there?
Well, it's just your thoughts really on the Queen Mum's very British send-off that she was given this week.
Yeah.
What do you make of all those people queuing up to see her? Did you think that was incredible?
Right. Well, what we said last week, there was I don't quite understand why there was so many people there who were like getting really upset. Do you know what I mean? Really upset, crying and stuff. And you can lose someone who's like related to you, and you don't cry like that. You sort of sit there and you think back to what you did with them and stuff, and then that's it. But the queue thing, wasn't it like miles long and stuff?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Right. I was sat watching this with Sue.
12 hours queuing.
Yeah.
It never got to
And-
12 hours.
It did, but
It
that was
did.
the estimated time.
No,
but how long is a queue when they're just like, walking along? Think how far you can sort of like, stagger in 12 hours.
Incredible.
It's been ridiculous. Go on.
Yeah. But again, if they want to do that, it's their time and that, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it was at the weekend, so they could have. It's not as if they got out of work to do it.
No.
You know what I mean? They used their own time, so good on them. But I thought, right, what they could have done. Remember when I studied Che Guevara?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And don't be offended by this. It was just an idea because they did it with Che Guevara. Remember when they cut him up?
Yes,
Remember?
they cut him up, yeah.
What was the reason for cutting him up?
Well, they cut up Che in order to try and... you told us that they were going to send bits of his body to Fidel Castro and various other people, wasn't that right?
As a warning, wasn't it, though, to all to people, like one to...
Yeah, and my understanding was that they cut him up in order to so they could bury him in different places, so that there'd be one shrine. There'd be not one place that you could go to in order
Right.
to
Well, a
sort
little
of make
bit
him into
like
a martyr.
that. A little bit like that. I've like
I can
6
vaguely
queues.
see where this is going.
6 queues, and it's like number 1, you can go and pay respect to her head or whatever.
Oh, God.
No, but I just was thinking the way of speeding it up. I'm not having a go. I'm not, because they haven't done it, so it doesn't matter. But
God.
they did it with Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Everybody would have felt like they've got close to her, and it would have speeded it up.
No, I mean, but I can understand.
Can I just say that genuinely, Karl is not being disrespectful here. This is his best idea to cut down the queues. So don't phone in. He's not suggesting we should have done this. He genuinely
Well, he
is. But I mean, he's not doing it to be nasty or wacky or he thinks this is a good idea. So
Can I just throw a
Because they did it
thought
with
at
Che
you?
Guevara, who was like a powerful man who did a lot for the world and what have you.
yeah.
And
Have you heard that? I feel slightly responsible for this because have you heard of the quote, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing?
yeah.
Okay. Steve, next one.
No, just a very quick question. I can understand those that have queued for 12 hours to see the head. I'd be a little bit annoyed if I got there to find a toe.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what they could do without chopping her up. They could put about 9 queues. Each could see each hip she had.
That's true enough.
Because she's had about 9 of them.
Yeah.
So it'd just be, if you want to see the whole body, it's a 12-hour queue. If you just want to see a couple of the hips.
Here's another suggestion for you, I've just thought, right?
What?
Instead of everyone queuing to see her, why not put her on a trolley and wheel her past everyone else?
Running. So
Yeah, you could have some students on Rag Week. They can combine it, like when they're always pushing a bed. They could just run it along the queue.
No,
that'd be fantastic.
That'd be disrespectful.
Right, as opposed to the chopping up.
So,
Sure.
Right.
but just an idea.
Just I apologise now. If anyone's offended.
Anyone offended, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
Okay, finally, this is more frothy. Liz Hurley lying low, apparently, at Elton John's house to try and avoid the press now that she's had a child.
That's a good place to go to avoid the press.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Elton John's house. Yeah.
Everyone seems to be friends with Elton John. don't they? Every celebrity's
When
friends
they
with...
pop into Elton John's house, what is he running some sort
But
of...
it was like when Robbie Williams was a drunkard and a drug addict, he went to Elton John's.
Yeah,
aid,
and who's the
Elton
other
helped
fella
him.
that went there as well? Was someone to recuperate and shoulder to cry on? Is he giving out false passports?
But I
and,
don't
like,
know if people have seen his
moustaches?
history. He's not the man of, I mean, I know he's cleaned himself up now, but, maybe that's it. Maybe he's got this kind of insight into how to deal with celebrity.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's just genuine mates with him. I think he's just
suppose
like a
so.
friendly
I
bloke.
think she's been doing too much lying low in the first place. That's part of the problem, isn't it?
High five, Karl.
That was a genuine joke from Karl there. And he's so proud of himself. Look at his little face.
Too much lying low.
Oh, that was
No,
my
but I
man,
agree
Karl.
with you. Why can't she just go around to her mum and dad's or something rather than Elton John where everyone's looking? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Right, what music we got? We got
Bit of Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips, excellent. There's the classic Race for the Prize. Should have been a big hit, never was, sadly. The Flaming Lips and Race for the Prize. Just playing that, Rick, for everyone who emails us saying we get a lot of emails every week, but obviously don't really respond to them because we're very lazy people. But we obviously appreciate it. And I play that particularly for Claire, who's emailed in saying her friend Sarah Prosser would like some Beatles. We're not going to play the Beatles this week, but Sarah apparently loves us more than words can express.
More than Karl could express.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop you there. People don't want an advert. Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Mitchell. And now it's Karl's bit. It's the re-education of Karl. He's like Liza Doolittle. And now he's coming, or Lawnmower Man, if you've seen that film. More like Lawnmower Man, if you've seen the film. You'll know what I mean. And his homework was to just study quotes, really, on happiness and stuff and general well-being. He's not a big happiness quote fan, are you, Karl?
Not really.
So what have you done? You've come up with something, haven't you?
Right, yeah, I told you, right? Because a lot of these are just things you say every day. They're nothing special. So what I'm doing...
Well, you say them every day.
Well, the sort of things you come out with and you don't even think about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on the TV all the time. People on the radio are saying these sort of little quotes.
Sure.
And what I've done is, remember that programme on Channel 4, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where they got some, like, posh kid to be on a door and all that. What I've done, I've...
Imagine if that was the pitch for the show. Dear Channel 4. Just going to get a posh kid on a door or something?
Yeah.
Yours
Come
sincerely,
in.
Karl.
Come in. Yeah.
TV producer.
Yeah. Go on.
So what I've done, this little book of quotes, happiness quotes, I've picked two that are real,
Okay.
and I've made one up, right?
And we've got a guess.
And you've got to guess.
Okay,
which
then,
one it is.
go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, why don't we, when we've heard them, we won't confer.
No.
You write down yours,
Yeah.
A, B, or C, and I'll write down mine, and we'll
Sure.
see how it
Okay,
works.
Karl, off you go.
Right, and just because I'm looking at this book, it doesn't mean I'm actually reading.
No, I know.
Don't
no,
worry,
I know.
we're clever.
No, we know. We can't see yet.
Like,
Yeah.
call my bluff.
Yeah, go on
Okay.
then.
Nothing is worth more than this day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
All right.
Yeah.
The way I see it,
Oh God, my head's gonna burst.
no, hang on.
My head's gonna burst.
No,
Hang
no,
on.
this might not be Karl's.
It might not be.
How do you know I haven't tweaked them a little bit?
Yeah, good
Okay,
point.
fair
Good
enough.
point. No, good point.
The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
All right, yeah.
Okay, no. It's not here.
Come on.
Cat food,
Cat food, go on.
it stinks a bit. But if you don't put up with the smell, the little kitten will die.
Steve, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Imagine this in faking it. Imagine their faces when he says that, and they're going, "Oh my God." Oh. Karl, play a song, mate.
We'll have to confer on this one.
Well, that's just amazing, Karl. Just read them again. Two were real, one was fake. Go on in.
Right. First one. Nothing is worth more than this day.
Excellent. Next one.
What does that mean?
Well, cherish now, cherish your time.
okay.
Because you can't get it back, and
Yeah,
you know
that's the way I saw it.
Carpe diem, whatever it is, seize the day and all that.
Okay. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rough with the smooth. You know, it's not all plain sailing, but you know, rainbow's beautiful, but it comes because of the rain, which you might not like. So
Yeah.
make the most of everything, and yeah. Good.
Cat food doesn't smell good, but if you don't put up with it, then the little kitten will die.
Right, now, Karl, that is a good effort. Now, that one's yours. I mean, obviously, right?
Right.
Right? No, but it's a good effort, right?
I mean, it slipped seamlessly into the others.
Yeah.
Don't think it didn't.
No, but it's good. I mean, we knew it was that one. But what I will say is, it's good. But what you don't know, maybe subconsciously, is, I mean, it's very similar to the putting up with the rain and the rainbow. But that's good.
Why do you think that?
Well,
What does mine mean?
well, even though it smells bad, it's good for something.
Right.
So-
See,
so-
I didn't look at it like that.
What do you look at that?
I kind of thought.
Was yours more specifically about cat food, generally? Because normally it's an analogy.
Yeah, or a metaphor for something, much bigger.
Well, no. The way
I mean,
looked at it-
Dolly Parton, who I think did the rainbow rain thing, she wasn't specifically concerned about weather conditions.
No.
It was a sort of general idea.
It's all about life.
Yeah.
It
Well,
exists.
that's what I've done.
Go on,
I've used an everyday thing
Yeah.
and put it with today's problems, right?
Go on.
So, like, my girlfriend, she might like to go shopping for clothes. I hate it,
Right.
but because I love her, I put up with it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you love that little kitten. You can't stand the smell of the stuff you got to feed it. But because you love it, you go, well, I'll put up with this just for a few minutes and then I can like squeeze its head later and give it a little,
Sorry. Can we go back?
stroke its head and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a bit of a slip, was it?
Squeeze its little head.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just the thing that I do with cats.
Put it in a bag and drown it in a lake.
I can feed it and then I can throw it against the wall.
Exactly.
So you didn't see it like that, did you?
No, that's very good. So it's about love, is it? It's about putting up with the bad things
Yeah.
for something you love.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
But
That's very
Karl,
good.
you seem now to be convinced and rather smug that you've tricked us and that you've fooled us and that we didn't understand it.
Well,
Well,
no-
I say that's your fault, not ours.
No, it's not though. I mean, look, that man in Forrest Gump, he was a bit of a nutter. And he came up with the life as a box of chocolates thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was in this book, you say, oh yeah, brilliant, good bit of work. But if he was sat here doing the show with you,
Yeah.
you'd be taking the mickey out of him.
Sometimes I feel he is.
No, but Carl, I could. In fact, if people are out there, we're too lazy. Could you write down everything Carl's ever said? Because I think we could publish that.
Yeah.
He said one today. He saw my salamander. It's not a euphemism. He saw my salamander, and it's just sitting there in the tank.
Your exotic pet.
Yeah, and he's worried about there not being a lid on. And he said, I went, what are we worried about? He said, wow. He said it sits there for 24 hours a day, obviously planning to get out.
Well, he's got nothing else on its mind. And the daft thing is, he has actually got the lid ripped up a little bit. Like, it's got nothing else to think about. And it'll be looking up there, and it's going to get out.
But what's the worst that could happen?
What's it thinking? What do you think it's thinking, this salamander?
It's got its eye on the DVD player. I could have Ian be down the market.
Well,
Oh, God.
are they dangerous?
Can I just say something?
they dangerous?
I think the salamander's thinking exactly the same things as you. I mean, to look at you, you've got the same expression on your face. You know what I mean? You're dressed in green as well. You've got a little round sort of Hamburglar type head, like the salamander. Very similar. And yet I think you bonded with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I probably would have tried to get out, but my little paper round bag would just hang on the door.
Yeah.
Listen, can we have more nepotism on the show? I know
Go
that
on.
we did that earlier with the teacher
haven't got long,
soundtrack.
have we?
We haven't. My housemate, you remember I was working out with him last week to Helen from Big Brother's Dancercise video?
That's just frightening.
Yeah, we've kind of let that slip a little bit, I've got to be honest. But anyway, he's joined this band. They're called Fujiya and Miyagi. Slightly difficult to pronounce. But anyway, this is a track that I think's been getting some play by Nick Luscombe and John Kennedy on XFM. They got a gig this week at the Pool on Curtin Road. That's 18th of April, Thursday. Let's play it.
Can I just say I've got a fridge freezer for sale, 400 quid or nearest offer.
Fujiya and Miyagi performing live Thursday the 18th of April at the Pool on Curtin Road. Admission is free, Rick, so I imagine you'll be heading down there.
Yeah, I will. Well, I've enjoyed this show.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It's great. It's been great. Carl, any more? I'll tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about, I mentioned Forrest Gump
Yeah.
and the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you used to have to sort of do your bit for the local area
Oh, God.
by taking the
Yeah.
Forrest
Yeah,
Gump
yeah.
people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now? The Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A
as?
minibus with Life is a Box of Chocolates.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump types.
It must have been, so you work with these people.
It was,
the people with learning difficulties.
And they used to get 5.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And he had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff. But there was one who was just causing loads of trouble, and he couldn't control him. And what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out, because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit.
Thanks, Dr. Karl.
You could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the others. He put it in a wheelie bin. He was having a good time. He thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine. He had a good
What,
time.
he left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half
In a wheelie bin?
in a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, his arms were trapped on the thing. One of those...
He tied him up?
No, do you know, because he was a big fella, and, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it. You just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it, where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away. And he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble, so he pulled over.
No, right? So he took him there. Everything's fine. He dropped him off. They had a lovely night.
Yeah.
Right? They had a lovely night. Won a bit of cash. Coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, "I want to be dropped off here. Take me there. I want to be dropped off first. I've got to get up early. Blah blah. My husband's expecting me. I'm already late. Take me here first. Take me there." And he just pulled up in the middle of nowhere, said, "Get out." And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. Well, a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, "I want to be dropped off first. Take me here first."
Yeah. So he acts like a madman. He's a counselor. Good.
Oh, that was
all right,
great.
We've got a crack on, haven't we? Really, we got
Says so much. Yeah.
Yes, Nick Drake, a song for the ladies this week from the album Brighter Later at the time of a city clock. That's
Goodbye.
it. Yeah,
Goodbye.
see you next time.
Bye. See? Strokes. Someday. No, that was a better choice, wouldn't it, to start off with? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously. Steve Mitchell.
No, come on, let's get my name right from now on. That novelty's worn off.
What is it? Is it
Steve Merchant?
Oh, yeah, that's the wrong one, isn't it, Mitchell?
The Guardian got it wrong. It's Steve Merchant.
And the more I say Mitchell, the more people are thinking
Exactly, it might be Mitchell.
Oh, God. Sorry, Dave. But Karl wanted to start off with the Stereophonics.
Oh, loser.
Because it was a newer track. And Karl now, we've made him what he is. He was nothing when we found him.
He was like work experience.
And now he's going, we should start off with the Stereophonics. I'm going,
trying to tell you what to do.
If I want anyone's opinion, I don't. Basically.
But he'd probably come to me, I imagine, wouldn't he? I'd be the first person.
Before Karl, I'd consult you, Steve.
Thank you.
Just keep it, just because he was in Pilkington making music. Pilkington making. I bet you never pleased a crowd once.
Did. Loads of times.
Go on then, what did you play? What's your biggest gig you ever played?
I did a social club gig.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the music either.
What else could it be about?
I used to take prizes and cigars and stuff.
In a youth club.
To give away.
I just love these 14-year-old manx hanging out going, let's go down here, you might have some fags and cigars for us.
Well, it was whatever was on my mum and dad's dressing table.
That could have been embarrassing.
That could have been deeply embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. Oh. You've won.
And third prize, some handcuffs.
And a black mamba. I'm not saying that at any point in your upbringing, your parents left around any kind of marital aid. on the dressing table. Don't think I'm saying that, Carl. I'm not suggesting. Like, he doesn't like this, does he?
Well, I can understand why.
Oh yeah, because it's about his.
It's about his parents having sex.
Well, they must have.
Yeah,
At least 3 times.
I think I was an accident.
I still have had sex. Carl. I think it's been ongoing.
Just because my brother and sister are quite older than me.
Yeah, me too. I was an accident. I know that. Yeah. How old's your brother and sister?
I think my sister's about 39.
Right.
And my brother's about 37.
Okay. And you're 29.
I'm like 29.
Right. So my next one's 11 years older than me.
Yeah.
That was definitely a.
Do you want to have a hug, you two, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're dealing with it now? You got over it?
Well, would you like to see us have a hug? You had a mobile
rubbish.
disco as well.
You're having a laugh, aren't you? Every single gig I did, it's dynamite. People loved it. It was storming.
What was it
I
called?
ran it from about the age of 14 to 18.
What was it called? Was it called in
The name of our mobile disco?
Yeah.
It had 2 names in its lifetime.
Yeah.
It started its life as, bear with it,
Go on.
the rock and roll DJs.
Oh my God. The rock and roll that's the worst. I mean, that's the worst.
Yeah. That's the most appalling. But then it became pretty bad after that when it became the Fantasy Island Roadshow.
Why?
I don't know.
Because everyone up to you looked like Tattoo.
Partly that, and because I liked the program Fantasy Island.
Why did you like the program Fantasy Island?
Well, it was about love on an island.
It wasn't. It was about a midget on an island.
No, the midget was a minor character. It was about people going to find
It's
love
a
and
minor
romance.
character.
You obviously switched off once the midget had gone off and said, there's the plane. Oh, that's that then. Your parents went, that's over then. It's only 5 minutes long. Yeah, well, it's...
Let's watch that fantasy midget.
Yeah.
What happened then? Because didn't they acted out their fantasies on an
Well,
island?
people would pay to go to the island to live out their own romantic fantasies, and invariably that's what
Was it
happened
always
each week.
romantic? It was always about getting off
Yeah, it was a
with
kind
you?
of love island, yeah.
Was it?
Well, no, not always. Sometimes they might be...
Maybe I didn't watch the whole one. Maybe I did just see him like smack a
you
little
probably
tattoo
did.
round the head.
I think you just saw the trailer.
Oh, really?
But,
so what did they sort of go? I've always wanted to have someone in...
Well, no, it might be something like, I've always wanted to sort of, live out, being a gunslinger in a Wild West frontier town, so you might kind of create that fantasy.
But what's that got to do with...
Well,
love?
he invariably would find love, or he'd sort out some emotional problem he had. It was much more a spiritual, emotional journey than it was about little midgets running around.
But was it like, I'd like to be a cowboy and, like Men with a Shag?
Yeah, it was like
while
Jim will
I'm
fix
there-
it. Like those letters you wrote to Jim will fix it. I'd like to meet 5-star, and if something happens, so be it.
Well,
But no, I have to just say once though, this is my DJing credentials. I was once playing music at a Scout Jamboree.
Yeah.
When I was about 17,
Big
16,
gig,
17.
big
Big gig. There was 1,000 scouts there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, we were playing on stuff, they were loving it, they were dancing, it was in a big marquee.
Right.
I slapped on Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Right.
I went mad.
They went mad for it. They were moshing, they were climbing up the poles. The organisers were going, switch that off, right? They're going crazy. And I was there going, no, that's what they like, I'm going to do it.
It was like Footloose.
It was unbelievable. It was just like Footloose. Then I came in with Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. The place went wild.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get me off the decks. It was like Bill Grundy interviewing the Sex Pistols.
And then when the head of the army had you killed,
Exactly.
like there was some sort of mafia thing, and it was all hushed up. That the scouts went there one night with all candles, and they stood by a grave, and that was the end of the film. It was a film, I assume.
This genuinely happened.
I assume this didn't really happen.
Yes, it did. I swear to God, I was playing Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it went wild, and the organisers were going, switch that off, they're going crazy, and I was going, no, it's what they want.
Can I say something?
It was brilliant.
That to me, I've known you for about 4 years,
Yeah.
and I've heard all those things. That must be the highlight of your life.
Unbelievably so, yeah.
You've never had anything that good or exciting since, have you?
One day I hope to sleep with a lady, and hopefully it'll slide into second place.
Rock the Casbah.
I love the fact you had at least 3 minutes to get that right.
I know.
Prepare and get that right.
I know, but my mouth was full of Maryland cookies. Yeah. Last week, this would blow your mind. He came in, do you know what he bought? For himself, about 10 penguins. Who buys penguins still?
I know. All wagon wheels.
Oh, I've never liked wagon wheels.
You've not been a fan?
No, but I'm sorry about that. It's The Clash and Rock the Casbah. Talking about records, have I told you that time my brother-in-law, he was moving out of his place, I think moving in with my sister, and I was about 13, and so he was about 30, and I moved in, and he brought round all his records when he was storage to leave them at our house. Right, and he had all these old sort of records, 50s and 60s records, and they put them upstairs, and I was looking through them, and it's just all like Elvis stuff and Beatles stuff. And there was a mate of mine who loved Elvis, okay? And he had loads of chemicals. Yeah, he had loads of chemicals, and I was into chemistry. And he said, "Let's swap me some chemicals for them." So I sort of nicked about 5 Elvis singles, and I got all these chemicals. And then just guilt.
What sort of chemicals?
Just things like, you know, just things like from a chemistry set, just, you know, crystals and metals and manganese, all that sort of stuff that I just like to muck around with. And then the guilt just hit me. I just thought, well, he's going to notice that. And one night, I just came downstairs and I confessed to my mum, and she went, "All right, well, I won't tell him, but you've got to be good." And it's sort of like I was just really, really good for a year. And then I was, have I told you this? And
No, you haven't. You've just reminded me of something.
And then I remember, when I was about 18, my brother was talking about it, and he said, "Did you ever, play those records I left for you?"
Brilliant.
He told my mum, he said, "These are for Ricky." She just didn't tell me.
She was sharp, wasn't she?
She opportunism there.
Oh, that's genius.
And, that was it. That's why I was good.
But you've never stolen anything since, have you?
No, I don't.
Except that spate of shoplifting after that to teach your mum a lesson.
yeah. Well, I went round, and arson. No, I did. I just couldn't believe it. It was terrible.
I remember, I think all kids go through a phase of shoplifting.
Well,
and when I was going through it, I used to just little things, just like magic markers and magazines, Mars bars, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
cigars and dildos.
And one day, right?
Same thing.
My mate Anthony, his mum called up my mum and said, I've got to meet up with you. I've got to have a word with you. And she said, "What about?" She said, "I don't want to talk about it over the phone." So she goes, "Oh, right. Well, yeah, come round tonight then." So anyway, my mum sees me. She don't want to be in an awkward position and like be a bit embarrassed and what have you. So she sees me and she goes, "Right, Anthony's mum's coming round. What have you been doing?"
Yeah.
So I go, "Oh God," I said, I've been nicking stuff. So she goes, "Like what?" So not big stuff. I've had a few calculators and Mars bars and stuff.
How many? I just work it out. Hold on. Works out at 7.2 per day.
So,
how many calculators do you need?
So it was when that phase.
You failed maths, didn't you?
Everyone wanted a calculator. It was like a trendy thing, wasn't it?
Right. Oh yeah.
In Manchester a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So anyway, so I told her all this and I confessed to
computers will make it there one day.
I confessed to
There's magic in the back of battery. Go on.
Confessed to nicking all this stuff. She comes round. She only wanted to borrow some money.
Brilliant.
She said, "Oh, I don't like asking. I was a bit embarrassed to ask you over the phone, but can I borrow 20 quid?
Oh, that's fantastic.
And there's me.
That's great.
And it's similar sort of thing to yours.
And did you?
And he went, "Hold on, Mum, let's just work out the interest on that. I bank 10%. She'll owe you £4.40. Yeah. Oh,
so your mum was a loan shark.
yeah.
And did she mention?
She went,
I just with that other, because what I'm saying is presumably you got your mate in trouble.
No.
Right, you didn't.
She went, "No worries, I'll just go and get my purse. It's on the dressing table."
Exactly. Yeah.
Carl,
do you want a cigar?
what other things you used to give away at your disco then that you'd find on the dressing table? You used to go into your parents' room and go, "What can I give away tonight?"
It was stuff like cigars. My
Yeah.
dad liked cigars.
Yeah.
I had a pair of tights.
What do you mean?
Unopened. You know, you get them in like a long...
Who did you give that to?
Just whoever did the prize. It was stuff like, you know, we did like a little raffle.
Just imagine Carl going, "This is for a pair
Who's
of
going joyriding this
Pretty
week?
Polly, sheer." Exactly.
Yeah, who's doing a bank job this week?
Exactly, that's what it was used for, yeah.
Just little bits, you know, unopened makeup, just stuff like that.
And did
Right.
their parents not notice?
No, because it's stuff that you're not that bothered about. If a telly went missing, they'd notice it.
They would, wouldn't they? They'd be staring at a wall for 3 days.
But a pair of tights and a cigar and that,
Yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah.
But it's funny as well because like you had 2 names. I just like remembered. I started off as Dazzling Darren's Disco, just because the first lights I could afford belonged to someone who had their name put in lights.
Right.
So I went along with
You
that
had to
name for a bit.
pretend you were called Darren.
That's lovely.
That's great.
Is it worth it?
Brilliant.
And then it went on to Pilkington making music.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's great.
Anyway, should we have some more music? 'Cause,
Yeah,
we've
go
been
on.
waiting for
What
hours.
are you going to play, Carl?
We've got the Cooper Temple Claws.
Oh,
lined up.
brilliant.
Yes, Steve Merchant here.
Merchant.
Steve Merchant.
Yeah. Okay, don't keep saying it.
And
Carl.
Karl, obviously, yeah. Stop fiddling, Karl.
We've been digging around in Karl's office, haven't we?
As ever, Rick.
He's a little bit nervous about this.
Well,
but he doesn't need to be.
I don't think he is.
You just need to trust us, Karl. Just trust us. Trust us with the music. Trust us with the speech output. Trust us with That's easy for me to say. Yeah.
But I'm conscious, Rick, that sometimes perhaps we're a little ill-prepared on the show. And I just wanted to make sure that we were sort of keeping ourselves abreast of developments, changes at the station, policy.
You said breast.
Thanks. Policies particularly. And I was lucky enough just to stumble across this. And I feel that actually a couple of weeks back we were a little ill-prepared because we hadn't read this. Yeah. This is the XFM information. It's the guidelines, if you will.
Sure.
On how to react to deaths, disasters and other news emergencies.
Yeah, and there's very important ones like a royal death. There's like,
Well, there's certain criteria. I mean, obviously... the general guidelines state that occasionally something will happen in the world that prompts XFM to break away from the normal programming and react to our audience's feelings of shock or grief. As broadcasters, we have a duty to think carefully
They're not talking about our show there, are they? They're talking about something happening
No,
there.
all shows.
I mean, no, like people being caused grief, just Karl's on the air.
Right.
You mean like,
I mean a bigger event.
A royal dying.
A royal dying or some kind of, major disaster.
Sure.
We should be able to tailor our output to show that we feel the same way as the audience in these times of trouble.
Oh, definitely.
That would never involve the station shutting down completely, Rick.
No.
I want to reassure you of that now. And it would never involve playing classical music or stopping all speech content.
Sure. Because they put that in there because a lot of stations, that's exactly what they do.
Exactly.
But XFM have deemed it that we don't have to go completely down the line there. We have to do it in our own little way.
People need company at times like this.
Yeah.
And should be able to look to us for both factual information and emotional reaction.
Sure.
We simply have to change our tone and our playlist to show that we're all feeling the same thing. Right. Be it, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, or, well, it's pretty sad, but she was 101 after all.
And that's actually in that document.
That's what it actually says in the general guidelines. That's as they are stated. If you should hear about the death of a major royal, this is information that
you're actually reading this, by the way.
Yeah, I'm reading this out. What you should do is say nothing about this on air under any circumstances. Drop all the ads and promos from your schedule. And if Chris Smith, the news guy, is in the building, get him in the studio immediately. Yeah. That's what it says, Karl.
Yeah.
If Smitty is, I don't care where he is, I don't care if he's on holiday.
Let's phone him up now and tell him someone's died.
To see how he would react. Get him down here. See how long it takes him to get down here. Where does Smitty live?
Because I know where he lives. He lives in a cave and he slides down a pole and he gets into a car. His butler is up there and he sorts things out.
I suppose the approach there is that only Chris can deliver this tragic news.
Yeah.
If it was you or I.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the same. Do you remember the XFM, as it first started, it launched the day after Princess Diana died.
I know.
And I'd never done radio before. I was nervous enough, and it was launched, and it was
because was it the first night? Because what I've forgotten actually until you mentioned that then is of course you used to host your own phone-in show. I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I gave that up after a week because it was just too stressful.
I have never seen a man so petrified.
I know.
He spent all his time preventing people getting through on the phone lines.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't let people come on air.
And for when I had to go on air, right, my mates sort of like came over the first day and they were mucking around and I was having a drink with them where I used to work and I was going, I've got to go on air in a minute, and I was like drinking shandy or something because I was saying I didn't want to be drunk and I kept saying don't swear. Telling my mates not to swear. They look at me like I was mental. I was going, don't swear because I'll swear. I was terrified of two things. Just swearing and operating the desk. I thought, even if I get through operating the desk, I'm gonna swear. And it just, it was awful.
Didn't you spill coffee over the machine and then go, oh shit, on your first link? I can't remember. But I know it wasn't a triumph.
No, I started off with I was really like music, and I started off with a classical piece by a bloke called Kuntz, who's a German composer.
Brilliant.
So I knew it was okay.
You're off. I was off, yeah. And so how did it go then? Because I remember it was appalling.
But Karl, he's a composer. Look it up.
Yeah, I know he is.
Right, 08700 800 1234. Yeah. If you know what the composer I'm talking. What?
Yeah, we've done it now.
Chill out, Karl.
Come on.
No, you know what people are like?
What?
They take things badly, don't they?
Like who? Like what?
You just, it's like a bull to a red rag, whatever.
But the thing is that we say bad words and we get in trouble. But I was listening to Heart the other day, and they played Luther Vandross. And that song, was it Never Too Much, Never Too Much? Play it a bit. The lyric in this is disgusting. Yeah, that woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. That's filthy. Play it again.
That's
just
depraved.
Filthy. What
is he doing?
Just saying like that. Imagine that. He's got a young girl's picture, and he's going, "Oh, thanks for that." And he phones her and goes, "What did it say? You know that picture you gave me?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I looked at it just to get me started." That poor young woman.
I imagine more that, like, she's sleeping, and he just sneaks in and he's got a Polaroid camera. She wakes up. He goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What are you up to?" He goes, "No, I'm just taking a picture." Well, why? I'm going to write a song about
tomorrow, will you?
Yeah, you're going on holiday tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I need that.
I just need something to get me started. What do you mean, get you started? Yeah, in the morning.
And then that's on Heart.
All right.
6.2.
So don't come on the air and tell us what we cannot say.
We can't say classical composers' names or philosophers like Kant.
Exactly.
So don't tell us that, Carl.
All right.
Just play a record. What you got, Steve?
Some Ride, Steve.
Yeah, I just think it's time that we listen to some Ride Rick. We haven't listened to them. I don't know about you and I, but I haven't listened to any for about 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
Just thought it'd be good to have them on the air again. Yeah. And it's a tragedy they split up. This is the classic Chelsea girl play it. Their lifetime.
I know. Yeah.
Right? It's a great sound.
But influenced lots of bands at that time. The old Britpop thing and the Wall of Sound and... They were they shoegazers? Do you think they were, weren't they?
Well, that's what they thought of, because there was a lot of nude lead guitar. But good melodies as well, Rick, and that's always important.
It is to me.
I don't know about you, Carl, but it is important to us.
Yeah. We've just had a couple of people, Sarah and Claire, call up and wish us luck for the BAFTAs, but for some reason, they want one of us to do an impression of Leslie Phillips.
Can't do it. Doesn't he say ding dong?
And hello, and all that.
That's not bad.
But I want Carl to do it, though.
Yeah, go on, Carl.
Go on.
Hello.
Well done. Say ding dong.
Ding dong.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we do any other impressions?
No.
Go. Hello. Do that.
Hello.
Yeah.
You look like a ventriloquist dummy.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Oh, Carl.
Do My Name is Bond, James Bond, as though it were Sean Connery.
My name's Bond, James Bond. Do that. Go on.
My name's Bond.
No, do it as though you were doing an impression.
Sean.
So I'm trying to be Scottish.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Perhaps a bit more specific than that. Sean Connery.
My name's Bond.
Keep going.
My name's Bond, James Bond.
That's like Jimmy Stewart. It's not like this. This is the best fun. It's like having your very own Fisher-Price toy for 2 hours a week. It's great. Do Roger Moore. Do that.
Roger Moore.
Phyllis Pierce, Percy Sugden, I'm licensed to kill.
Anyway, she just said...
No, this is a great game.
No,
we'll come back to this another time.
Yeah, anything you want Carl to do. Carl's homework today was come up with those, those lateral thinking things.
Go on.
Those stupid.
Oh, I hate them.
They're ridiculous, aren't they? Like a man went into a field and died, and you're meant to ask questions like, "Oh, was it?" I don't know. And it turns out his parachute didn't open. So it's basically, it's not logic. It's what am I thinking?
Yeah. Well, there's that one where there's a man this is the worst I've ever heard. Yeah. A man is found dead lying in a phone box. Yeah. Right, his wrists are cut. He's bled to death. And there's glass everywhere. Yeah. Right? And the phone's hanging off the hook, right? Yeah. What happened to him?
I know this, yeah.
Right? Do you know what the answer is, Carl?
It's ridiculous.
He was a fisherman.
Yeah.
He was on the phone. Someone asked him how big his fish was. He did that gesture like fishermen always do to say it was much bigger than it actually was.
His arms out.
His arms went through the glass and he slashed his wrists and he died.
Why would you do that with someone on the phone when they can't see how big you're actually saying?
Well, that's one of the many problems with that conundrum.
Yeah, not the point we were making, but again, good. I mean, you're there. That is good thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so what, you had to come up with some of these? I didn't know this was his challenge.
Yeah.
Have you come up with one?
I came up with 3, and they're all belters.
Are we gonna,
oh, wow.
If it's as good as your quote about happiness that we had to guess which was yours and which was the real ones, like faking it, I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, I literally can't wait. Should we do it now?
Well, I'm tempted to save it because I just want to mention to people that they should be very excited because it's going to be Karl's special night tomorrow. You excited, Karl?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is, me and Steve, because we were nominated, we get a guest.
For the BAFTA Awards.
And it doesn't say guest, it actually says, partner. So I'm taking my partner. And Steve's taking Karl.
Yeah.
But what Karl doesn't realise is You will have to pretend you're his partner, otherwise you wouldn't be able
we'll
to
have to hold hands when we go on the red carpet.
Is this really your partner? It's not just a guest. That's
how it is. And either we go in like that or we can't get in.
You just have to be with him when you go up there. I mean, does he have to?
We should hold hands. But I think what we should do is just to make sure that there's nothing at all that like it's going to go wrong. We should just do a little kiss,
just like or be seen sort of like cheek to cheek, just to show them that you're not. He's
like
not
Elton John and David.
He's not just getting his mates in for a free meal. You are actually partners.
No, I'm not up for that.
Why not?
Well,
because we know we're not actually gay.
No, but so it's not a problem. You've come out of it looking quite good because you've got a good-looking fella. But I'm meant to look like, I mean, I'm not gay, but if I was, I don't think I'd go for your side.
Oh, he's done you, Steve. It's turned on you again.
I cannot believe
we were trying to get him.
Wait a minute. I have got the cream of London's totty phoning me up, trying to get an invite to the BAFTAs, right? We have very graciously asked you if you would like to come along.
Well, that worries me even more, that you've got women calling you up.
Carl,
I can't choose between them. If I let one of them down, they're gonna destroy them. They'll be ruining their lives. Will be ruined. It's better for me to take you and not, ruin the lives of any of those poor women.
When he told them he was taking you, it was like a scene from Graceland. There was just like
there was weeping.
They were crying. Like
it was horrible.
Hundreds of them, and really? He just went. And
I got upset.
He just had to say, "Look, just chill out, bitches," didn't you?
I did. I just said, you're all my hoes, but I can't choose between you.
So I'm taking Karl. He could get you a discount frocks.
No, I had a letter from the people that there's an organisation. No, listen, Karl. There's an organisation that sponsors the BAFTA Awards in terms of clothes and fashion. They sent me a letter. They said your partner. They've not specified the sex. They've said your partner can come along and choose an outfit. Now I suspect, by the look of it, it is a woman's outfitters. I'm thinking we could get you a lovely trouser suit.
Well, it
may look feminine, right? But I think people will be fooled.
It'd just be a little bit roomy in the hip and probably narrow on the shoulders, but you're a bit skinny. Why didn't you take it? Because it's a lot of an insult.
And maybe just some pearls as well. Be lovely.
Wouldn't you?
I haven't got anything sorted to wear yet.
See, you're slagging me off. You're likely to end up going in a tracksuit.
I'm going out today. I've never bought a suit since I was like 11, right? I went to my brother's wedding. That's the last time I wore a suit.
Right.
Really? And you can't get anywhere near it now, can you?
Can't get into that.
No.
That was a good day.
What was it? What sort of suit was it?
It was like a sort of a grey silver one.
Excellent.
Quite flary.
Nice. We'll try and go for something
grey
similar.
Silver one. Just think that with your little round head, what did that look like?
That looks all right.
Like he'd landed from the. Just landed on it.
It's like who's
they walk among us.
I didn't really need to wear a suit either because I hardly went into the church. I was in the car park, right? And it's when my brother was in the army and he had a Ford Capri with one of them horns that goes.
And you just sat there.
Why didn't he come in his tank?
I just sat in that doing that all day, and the vicar was getting well annoyed with me.
What, when the service was on?
Yeah. I was driving everyone up the wall.
Were you just allowed to do what you wanted when you were growing up? Like Nelson Muntz from The Simpsons? Were you just allowed, didn't matter, was there any discipline? You didn't have teachers, you didn't, why didn't someone come out and...
I got a couple of good hidings off my dad a couple of times.
What for?
Just being mopey most of the time. If I had a strop on, he'd hate that.
He'd go out and burn something down or nick something, but don't wander around with your head down.
Well,
didn't he smack you for not liking a castle once?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
Went to Carnarvon the other day, and I was bored. I was at that age when I just wanted to go in an arcade, and my dad was saying, come and see the castle, there's history here, and I still don't like castles. It's one of them things that, again, just too far back to sort of even think about people living in them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, look, it's a wreck, knock it down, flatten the thing.
Sure.
And I was being really mopey.
Isn't that great?
And it's weird, because now, like, my mum and dad have retired and gone to Wales.
Yeah.
And now and again, he texts me there, and every time we get to the point where he gave me a clout, he goes, you're getting flashbacks, son.
Yeah. Well, it's a sobering lesson for you.
Yeah.
You're not on the British Heritage Committee anymore, are you?
No.
This is the National Trust land. Tarmac it. The biggest car park in Britain, for Christ's sake.
So look, you're looking forward to the awards, are you, tomorrow? You better say yes, because otherwise...
No, it'll be all right. I mean, I've told a couple of people, and they got like, God, you're dead lucky.
Yeah.
But in a way...
Oh, they're dead lucky. It's like Santa's coming, isn't it?
It's
the other way people talk to Karl, you're a lucky boy, aren't you? Going to the BAFTAs with Steve?
It's just a posh raffle at the end of the day, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
In a sense.
It's, there's going to be some...
They give away some tights and cigars.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's Chris Tower goes, I went to my parents' house, I found these just lying around.
Oh, but winners and losers and,
but
and
what
food.
Well, quite, yeah, but what is exciting, surely, is the razzmatazz and the brushing shoulders with the rich and famous.
I'm not into that.
You're not?
No.
I don't feel you're going to appreciate this like we thought
It's
you would.
weird because Sue's answered to me this morning, who would you like to meet there?
Yeah.
Is there anyone who, like, you can get close to and it's like, God, I really admire your, big fan of yours or whatever.
And it's me and Steve, so you're here now.
Well,
I really admire your big fanny. I didn't...
What did you say?
What did he say?
If you're a big fan of it.
Oh, right.
Oh, right, yeah.
And,
Sorry.
there isn't anyone, really. Do you know what I mean? I
Isn't
like,
there?
you two are all right.
Thanks.
Jonathan Ross, is he going?
He might do, I don't know.
But
He's
hang
up
on
to
a minute.
something.
I can't help but feel we could have exploited this more. We could have maybe run a competition to let someone win.
Yeah.
If you're not going to appreciate it, Karl.
Yeah. Are you going to get a trouser suit? Are you going to get a ladies' trouser suit? I just think then, if you go sort of like looking macho and walking down with him, they know that you're not really partners. And I just think it's a slap in the face for BAFTA.
That's true enough.
No, it doesn't matter what you wear, though. Look at Elton
Can't
John's.
you mince a little bit? Can't you at least sort of walk a little bit mincy? Because you've got such a macho
What's
sort of
the
mank
matter?
walk.
Elton John's fella doesn't look gay and the stuff he wears and that, does he? Do you know what I mean? It means nothing.
No, but that's because Elton's doing the work for him.
No, but
By dressing as like some kind of restoration dame.
Yeah, I love the fact he dressed as Anne Widdecombe for special occasions. Had his hair done like her. That's great.
Anyway, music.
But, yeah, this is a very underrated album. It's Richard Ashcroft's Alone with Everybody, and I know it got a bit of a slag and it didn't sell as well as it was because people were going, "Oh, it's no urban hymns," and it maybe it's not, but. He got criticised for being pop, but this is a great tune on here. You on my mind in my sleep, and I think it's really good. Pop there, and you on my mind in my sleep. Is that one, Karl?
it's all right. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
nothing-
What I did want to do is I want to play some adverts now. Just- there goes the fear on XFM 104.9. Well, into the last hour, and then only 2 more shows,
That's true enough.
and we're away for 3 months. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Obviously, yeah.
Steve Merchant, little Karl. Now, Karl, his homework was to come up with those stupid lateral thinking problems.
We maybe should give an example of the. sort of genre.
Romeo and Juliet, right? Romeo's asleep on the bed, Juliet's on the floor, covered in water and broken glass. What happened? And you ask all these stupid questions, and it's Romeo's a cat and Juliet's a goldfish. Again,
Awful.
what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on then, Karl.
Right, first one.
Yeah.
There's a bloke lying on the floor, right? He's cut his head, blood's coming out of his head, and all his mates come running up, and they're all stood round him.
Yeah.
And they don't take their hats off as a mark of respect.
That is outrageous.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
I'm laughing, but it's probably as good as the real
absolutely.
No, but these are really good.
Did you make them all up?
Yeah.
No, I mean, did you make up all the ones that already exist?
No.
That would make a lot of sense.
Right, a bloke's fallen with his... Yeah,
He's lying on the floor.
yeah,
He's dead.
yeah.
His mates come running up. Like,
Was it important that his head was cut?
I don't know. I mean,
Would it have been okay if he'd been wearing a hat? He wouldn't have been dead if he was wearing a hat.
what's your answer?
No, you meant to answer a question. You don't just go, what's your answer? You say, when's it turns out you go, no, and I have to guess. It's obviously like sort of motorcycle stunt team or a parachute.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
Because they're probably still on the motorbikes or something. Or...
Well, yeah, but if you mark a respect to someone, you could take your helmet off.
I'm getting angry.
What? They're parachutists.
Why couldn't they take their helmets off?
Because they're still
coming down from the sky.
But he's on the floor dead.
Well,
But they can look down and see him on the floor.
Are they on the floor, Karl?
They're on the floor as
They're
well.
walking, are they?
Yeah, well, they sort of stood there looking at him.
They're stood there.
Yeah.
They're stood on the floor looking
They're
at him.
soldiers.
Why? But why? If
Because it might be in a battle zone. They might have their helmets on, and he's been shot in the head.
No.
Well, that does work. You see, this is my point. That one works. That one works. Unless you've given us a piece of information where that doesn't work. What's the difference? Why is yours different to he's been shot in the head in the trenches and they're looking at him and they keep their helmets on?
I just don't think it matters as much. If they're in the trench, they're already guarded a little bit. So they could take their hats off. It's the best mate, for God's sake.
Okay, he's dwelling on this. Are they normal hats?
Well,
No,
I'm
that's
going to
all
give you
they-
the answer.
No, don't get ratty.
What kind of hats are they? Baseball hats?
If I told you what sort of hats they are, you'd have the answer.
Wow. Okay, I've got to guess what sort of a hat it is then, have I?
Right.
Is it a trilby?
No.
Is it a bowler?
I know what it is.
What?
They're spacemen.
No. Oh, that's a good
That
one.
one works as well. This is my point.
I like that one a lot.
It works. He's fallen on the moon, and not that the moon happened. It was set up, wasn't it, in the studio? We know that. Yeah. Okay, Karl. What's your answer?
Builders on a building site.
Why is that different to soldiers?
Because bricks don't fall in wars.
But bullets fly.
Right, next one.
No, let's play a record and we'll come back to it, Karl, while you think about what you've done.
Oh, yeah. You've embarrassed
Let's play some
yourself.
classic Suede.
Yeah, and this is for David and Kieran, I think, who wanted a bit of Butler at his best.
Come on, crack it on.
I hate you, Butler.
Coming next, your next lateral problem number 2. Brilliant.
Suede there.
Indeed.
I think their second or third single.
Brilliant.
All the way back. 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Little Mickey. On XFM 104.9.
Was it 10 years ago?
Must have been, wasn't it?
Wow.
I think, was Drowners 91? I think so.
Crumbs.
Yeah. Go on.
Right.
Go on then, Karl.
Second one then. This is a bit easier, but I still think it's a good one.
So this is, we should explain what this is if you've just tuned in.
It's one of those stupid lateral thinking problems.
That Karl himself has created.
Yeah, that was his homework.
Right, this one. It's a fella. He has a normal day doing stuff. Nothing wrong with him. Right. And
It's the twist in the tale. It's just like Tales of the Unexpected. Just a normal day, nothing wrong with him. Hold on, though, he's got the legs of a fish. Go on.
So,
that's why he's been hiding his legs.
so
Go on.
he does his
The
normal,
legs of a fish.
Sorry, Karl, carry on.
He has his working day and that,
Yeah.
and then he gets a bit tired. Goes to bed. He puts the light on, leaves it on, goes to bed.
Oh,
That's crazy.
that's mental. I can't think what's happened. Anyway, here's Radiohead. Right, okay. What? The question is, why does he put the light on when
So
he's
a
going
man,
to bed?
he's had a normal day, he's come home from work. Is that right? He's come home from work or he's not been working?
Yeah,
he's just been
no,
out?
it's been working and stuff, I think.
You think? You've made it up, Karl. You can decide.
So is the question is, why has he put the light on when he's asleep? There's a reason that he's put the light on when he's asleep.
Has he gone to sleep?
No, Karl, don't shrug. You're meant to answer these questions.
He put the light on before he went to bed.
Yeah, and the question
And
you're
he's
asking
gone
me
to
is
sleep,
why? What's the scenario?
And the light's on and
Yeah.
that, but he's gone to sleep.
Yeah.
He started reading and then he fell asleep.
No.
Did he intentionally, for some reason, put the light on?
Every night. It's mad. Sounds mad.
That's Karl, doesn't it?
Every night he does it.
Yeah.
He puts the light on when
So-
he goes to
Light
sleep.
on, it goes to bed.
Karl, is the point of this, he puts the light on for a very good reason.
Not for us, but for some people.
He's blind and it's always been on and he thinks he's turning it off, but it was on in the day and he thinks he's turning it off, but he's turning it on because he's blind.
That'd be stupid.
That works.
No, that works great, Rick.
Yeah. Thank you, Karl. So you've got to come up with what...
Hang on. If
What?
you're blind, why would you put a light on?
No, he thinks it's off.
Yeah.
But why would he turn it on anyway?
Just think so he doesn't get burgled, so people know he's in because he can't see him. So he just he puts the light on when he's there, then he turns the light off when he goes to bed, so people think it's fine. But he's got it out of kilter, and actually he's walking around in the dark all day.
I don't believe that if you're blind, you turn your light on.
I don't think you'd be living on your own, would you?
I'm not having that for a
Do
second.
blind people live on their own?
For a second. Well, some people do. Lonely blind people live on their own.
No, if you got bad eyes.
Any of them women? Are there any blind women who are living on their own, Rick? No, I mean, if you know of some blind women.
Oh,
living on their own.
800 800 1234. We've gone through this.
If you are a blind woman
with no standards and you don't care annoying voices and smell,
yeah,
then get in touch with you.
yeah. I
you
mean,
know-
you've got to be within the ages of say 25 to 65. You know,
Right.
well, call it 75.
You fussy all of a sudden.
I know.
Yeah, go on.
If you were blind, would you live in London? Because someone said yesterday there was one struggling outside in Leicester Square, and I don't understand. If you would, I mean, you know,
That might have been a tourist.
but why come to London if you're blind? It's the worst place in the world to come if you're blind.
To hear the sights.
To hear the sights.
It's a bit mad, isn't it?
They have. They do the same job.
They have tourist needs like anyone else.
Yeah.
No, but it sort of stinks, and you'd go away going, "Oh, it's not that good." I just thought that I thought it was a bit weird.
Well, never mind your concern for the partially sighted or sight impaired people coming to London. Get on with this.
Yeah. So there he is.
Yeah.
It's like, a bit tired.
Yeah.
Just put the light on, get to bed.
Yeah. So he turns the light on and he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Should we play a track?
He's not sleeping on the job. He's a lighthouse keeper.
Well done.
Is he a lighthouse
That's
keeper?
not it, Carl.
He's a lighthouse keeper.
Right. Why wasn't the light on all the time?
Because it's light in the day.
You idiot. Play a record.
What?
Play a record. You're a buffoon.
No, actually, the light isn't on in the day, is it?
No, it's not.
I think you're the buffoon.
Yeah.
Karl has won!
Hey!
100 Reasons and Silver on XFM 104.9. I love the fact that Karl went a little bit mental then. So happy that he thinks that a lighthouse keeper pops the light on at the same time every... Are you telling me it was never foggy?
Everyone has a routine in the job.
And why was he going home from work knackered? What had he been doing all day?
He never said he went home knackered.
He did. He said he went home. He's just done a day's work. He said he went home knackered and puts the light on and goes to sleep. That's what he said.
Yeah, but he's maybe a part-time lighthouse keeper.
Oh, what does he do? Works in the library, does he, as well?
No, listen, Rick,
Hang on.
look, I'm really with Karl here.
What?
He definitely got you. He
Anyway,
stitched
I
you
got
up
it right.
right and proper.
Anyway, I got it
yeah,
right.
but then you embarrass yourself by
He's
saying that...
stupid.
But you
He's stupid.
You would never put
What's
a
the next
lighthouse light on during the day.
What's the next
And
one?
he'd been painting it that day.
Oh, had he?
Extra shattered.
Right, okay.
The next one, last one this.
Yeah.
Lateral thinking.
Lateral thinking.
And you've written this yourself? You've had no help from anyone?
No, I've come up with these on my own.
Okay.
Right, last one.
Yeah.
This bloke.
There's always this bloke.
Yeah.
This bloke, he's got a brother that he's never met. Right? They got separated at birth.
Right.
Anyway, he gets a letter in the post.
Yeah.
He says, I tracked you down.
Yeah.
Meet me at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soon as he gets to the airport,
Yeah.
he goes, there he is, and he goes walking over. How did he know that was his brother? He'd never seen a
They were
picture.
twins. They look exactly the same.
They were born the same day.
No, Steve's got it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So he knew they were born the same day. So he knew they were twins, yeah.
I didn't say they were born on the same day, did I?
No, I'm just reiterating.
They would be, though, if they looked identical.
Yeah.
Sorry about that when we've got you there, Karl, mate.
Yeah.
You're quite upset about that. That was 1 out of 3, though. That's
What
not
about
bad.
this then? Do you know that when two brothers born on the same day of the same mother and the same father, but they weren't twins? Why?
Say that one again.
Two brothers
Yeah.
are born on the same day of the same mother and father, but they weren't twins. Why not? This is good radio.
You see, the problem is I heard you saying to Steve, I'm going to do that one about the shark in the pool, so I'm trying to think.
This has nothing to do with that one, though, is it? Clearly.
Give him the answer, Rick.
The answer is they were two of triplets.
Right.
I had another brother. So do you want to do the one about the shark in the
Yeah, go
swimming
on.
pool?
Yeah.
Okay. A bloke, just in his swimming trunks, walks into a swimming pool full of man-eating sharks. He walks around for a bit and slowly gets out the other side, and he's not bitten or anything. Why not?
Because they'd already eaten.
No, they're starving hungry.
He walked through the water.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a bridge.
No, he actually was in the water, soaking wet, the sharks.
He had like a metal suit on.
No, naked apart from swimming trunks.
There were real sharks.
Real sharks.
Swimming about. They
Swimming
were
sharks, man
starving.
eating, hungry, yeah.
They were really hungry.
Yeah.
This fella gets into the same pool.
Yeah,
It's the same pool.
exactly.
He walks right. He gets in the steps.
Yeah.
He walks down. He walks
Yeah,
across.
yeah,
He's in the water.
yeah,
Up to his neck.
yeah,
And the sharks are near him.
yeah, they're attacking him.
They're attacking him.
They're actually attacking him.
But he still gets out. Okay.
Yeah, walks out the other side. And hasn't got a mark on him.
I don't know.
Go on, Rick, what's the answer?
Yeah, I was lying about the sharks.
There weren't any sharks
No, I
there.
was lying about the sharks. Completely lying, just made up. Just an empty pool.
That's just stupid.
That's our point. They're rubbish.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Rubbish.
Look at his face.
He's so offended.
Oh, offended and confused.
Come on, play a song.
No, go on then.
Good Fortune, PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously. Steve, Karl. I've got a real one for you. This is a logic question, not a stupid one. Just very quickly. 10 black balls in a bag and 10 white balls in a bag. Yeah. How many balls do you have to pull out to ensure you've got a pair of the same colour?
Well, what's stopping you putting your hand in and pulling out?
Jesus.
For
Because I asked for the minimum number. So how many do you have to pull out to ensure you've got a pair? That doesn't say all of them. That'll
Right,
ensure it.
no,
What's the minimum number you have to pull out?
11. Because if the
Why
chance-
do you need 11?
What? Because
No, go on.
there's 10 black balls, 10 white balls, yeah?
Yeah.
Say if you're, for some reason, you pulled out all the 10 black balls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You'd have a pair, wouldn't you?
You'd have a pair.
After the first two.
Yeah.
So what's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure?
Two.
No, because you might pull a white one and a black one.
Yeah, but I don't understand what you're saying.
Sometimes I get that impression, the way you look at me like Helen from Big Brother.
Yeah, but
I've always assumed that.
Look, right.
What's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure you have two of the same colour?
3.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use that one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So what's the minimum number you have to pull out to ensure you have 4 of the same colour?
Oh, God. 8.
Was that a guess?
I don't know. I understand the first one. We've done it now.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it
get
there.
that, it's good.
Good. Okay. Now
White van, Karl?
this is this is where we.
Oh, it's too much.
If you'd have seen his face then, Steve, his eyebrows sort of went down while you were doing that face. He genuinely looked pained.
It's like you're back at school, isn't it?
It's starting to get hard work now.
No, okay, we'll just do White Van Karl then. This is your opinions. You can't be wrong on this, can you?
There's no right or wrong answer here. Okay.
Right.
But so this is where we ask Karl his views on the big news stories of the week. Basically, we've stolen an idea from the Sun newspaper, and
So this isn't cruel, this programme, is it?
I don't think so.
Picking on me.
It's not, is it?
It's weird because a few people have said, "Oh, you're picking on me." It depends how you look at things, isn't
Sure.
Yeah, but you do like it.
We could look at it like it's a laugh, so it's not a problem for us.
You know, we like you. You know, you're our favourite.
Yeah.
I'm going to say thing in the world, but I don't mean that, in a derogatory way.
No, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So your views, please, on the fact that attitudes are changing to the possible marriage of Charles and Camilla.
Oh, what do you think of that?
The roars at the moment, because the recent tragedies are apparently high in the polls, and people are coming around to the idea of Charles and Camilla getting hitched. What's your thought?
Whatever, really. I mean, if they're happy with it. The thing that comes out of it most is it just goes to show, right, that there is someone for everyone. Just because, I mean, no disrespect to Camilla, I'm not a good-looking person either, but she isn't a stunner, and yet she's gone and picked up a royal. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good for things like that to happen, because it cheers you up. Do you know what I mean? Gives you a bit of hope.
Thanks, Karl.
So yeah, it's good. You know, if they're happy, if anyone's happy, it's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he's had a bit of bad luck, and now he's got someone else in his life. So
While he's doing this, I'm just doing a list of questions to ask him what he thinks of things in the world. Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Okay, what do you make of, well, now listen, this may be a non-story, or it may be the biggest story that's about to break. Ulrika Jonsson and Sven-Goran Eriksson's affair. Are you familiar with this? It's over the papers today. Apparently, Ulrika and Sven are going out, although there appears to be no evidence for this.
yeah, I don't even give it time of day.
Do you not?
know what I mean?
Right, well done.
Doesn't affect me whatsoever, as long as he does his job well.
Yep.
And what's she doing at the moment?
Presenting Dog Eat Dog, I think.
Right, you know.
As long as she does.
As long as they both do their jobs well.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's going on with a lot of people out in the world, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just because he's an England boss, as long as, you know, we win win the games and that. He's doing his job. If she's, gets a dog winning a prize or whatever.
No, okay. It's not worth it. Carry on.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Dog winning a prize.
I haven't seen Dog Eat Dog. What's it
Okay,
about?
it's all right. Go on.
So that's it. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, what about this then? Are you disappointed by the nation that a third of us are apparently unaware of St. George's Day?
23rd.
Is St. George's Day the one with the snakes that we've talked about?
No, that's...
Are you one of that third, do you think?
St. George is the patron saint of England who killed the dragon.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many of these days, isn't there? That's the problem. If you make it a bit more special, like Christmas, so you buy presents and that for each other, then people will remember it. But there's so many of these days with Easter and Pancake Tuesday and all that. So it's not surprising. I think as time goes on, we'll find that a lot of these days will just disappear because, people are busy.
There'll be new ones, won't there?
I don't know. People
There'll be like busy. Gareth Gates Day in 50 years' time.
It's just weird. I mean, I remember being a kid, right? Going out on a Sunday and shops would be shut because it was like, the day of rest and all that. People don't care now. It's like, we can make some more money. We'll open the shops.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that a good or a bad thing, Carl?
It's good because I remember I used to have to get up early to go and get some bread if we didn't have any in. Because the shop would only be open for a couple of hours in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'd be able to...
Yeah, I remember that. Shops and you couldn't get aspirin and stuff, certain things.
Nightmare on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
that's right, yeah. And pubs didn't open till 12.
Do you remember space operas?
Yeah. Yeah, shut up. Can I ask you something?
Go on.
Okay, I've got a little list of things. What do you think of, like, those pug dogs that are bred and they can hardly breathe?
Evil.
Yeah. What do you think of gays?
They're all right. Do you know what I mean? Just like straight people, you get bad ones, you get good ones.
Exactly.
Right?
We've learned a lesson today, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Let's play a record.
Yeah? What do you fancy? A bit of Radiohead?
Yeah.
You don't mind, though, if people think we're gay, for instance, when we go to the BAFTAs tomorrow?
No, that's terrible. I don't want that happening.
Why?
Hey?
Why?
Because I'm not. That'd be a lie. I don't like lying. If I was, I'd say I was gay.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
We'll say you were, just pretend.
We won't get in otherwise.
No.
Just a little kiss and a cuddle.
Say I'm a bit gay.
No. I'm not gay.
On XFM 104.9. Wow, near the end of the show, isn't it? You had a good time, Karl?
It's been all right. I knew it wasn't going to be a belter today.
Why? What do you mean? What's up with it?
Because what happens, the last 2 weeks have been quite good, and we always tend to have two good ones and then one that's just all right.
Well, let the listening public be the judge of that.
Well, yeah, and the Sony committee.
Yeah, what do you want to do? A clip show of the best... We should do that for our last show. People should vote for their favourite hilarious link. Yeah. And then we can put it together on a tape. Right? Is there a rock on it there that wants to release the bit like, I love...
Including such favourites as, do you like gays?
And this lad, he had a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I scored once, I was stung by a bee. And who can forget? That's lovely. Should you do that? Can you have you kept all these on tape?
Yeah.
So can you do a compilation?
Oh,
People phone in. No, the next 2 weeks, phone in for your favourite clip. Carl, how can they get hold of you, Karl, in the week? What's your email? What's your email? What's your email?
It's my name with xfm.co.uk.
So, Karl Pilkington.
Karl.Pilkington.
Karl.
With a K. Karl with a K.
Yeah. Karl.Pilkington at xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Vote your favourite link of the last 3 months. We should make a little compilation and sell it. And we get like Radiohead. They'd love to be on the compilation with us, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they?
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, do you know, like, you're always giving me questions in the week. You're always saying things like, if I put you in this situation, what would you do?
Like what? Like what?
It'd be bizarre things.
Like what, though? Say one.
If you had to lick Barbara Cartland's face, would it be the right cheek or the left cheek?
Sorry, does Barbara want her face being licked? No, I'm just saying if that's what she's into, then I don't mind
dead.
popping.
She's dead, yeah.
So, isn't she?
Isn't she?
I don't think she is.
Be careful, because you can't libel the dead, so I want to make sure she's dead before we start saying horrendous things.
But I don't think she is dead. I'm almost certain she's not.
I don't think so.
No, she's not.
Phone, is Barbara Cartland dead? 08700 800 1234.
I'll have to get Chris in. So listen, right? So anyway, he always calls up with like bizarre stuff like that. And I was watching a program the other night about snakes.
Right.
And it was like, don't walk through a river that's full of snakes because...
Good advice.
They if you got a kid in the car or in the house. Turn your radio down if you don't want them to hear stuff like this. But they go for your tackle.
Why?
I don't know. They just do.
They think it's another little snake
Maybe
with swollen cheeks.
earrings.
With earrings, yeah.
So,
Or an anaconda in my case.
With one eye.
I'm really joking.
So and I said to Ricky, "What would you do?" Right,
It's very scaly.
you two in the woods. You're having a wander, Steve. Having a wander.
Oh yeah.
You walk through. You walk through the river.
What, me?
And yeah,
Okay.
because you're tall, so it's like you can check out how deep it is before Ricky goes through.
Right.
Yeah?
Which you do.
sounds right.
You do that sometimes, don't you? Yeah.
But a snake bites your tackle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Say penis.
yeah,
It's the correct word for
I
it. It's
know,
not
but I don't-
offensive.
It doesn't sound nice.
Say it. Say
Yeah,
it.
penis, but I don't.
Oh,
like
you
the sound of it.
dirty little,
No,
dirty little slut, Carl. You're a dirty
It's
little.
just one of those words.
Yeah.
Right, carry on with let's carry on. What's the story? I'm wandering through a river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the snake
Bites.
your penis.
Right.
And
You know Ricky doesn't leave WC1. Why on earth we're going to be anywhere near a river where there's sort of
Well, anyway,
Snakes.
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
you are in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The snake bites you. And I said to Ricky, if it was a matter of life or death, would you suck out the poison? What do you think he said? And the bit I made, because he was thinking about it, and like, oh God, well, he's my best mate and everything. What will I do? And I said, and then Steve starts sort of groaning like he's enjoying it.
I'm just trying to remember what I did do. What did happen in that instant?
Okay.
So I've been bitten on the penis by a snake.
Yeah, there's poison in it.
There's no poison in it.
Yeah.
I've had a go at trying to suck it out myself.
Yeah. Yeah, but
That's not
you've
worked.
never mastered that
I've
one
never been
yet.
able to master that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just such a long spine and such a short, stubby knob that he's got no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to get.
He's even had lip extensions. Haven't you? Yeah, go on.
And would Ricky suck it out? Almost certainly not.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, he'd let me die a hideous, horrible
I'd
death.
go, is there anyone you want a towel? Do you want me to call your mum and dad?
Yeah.
How should I tell them you died? Is they tell them I died taking a bullet for a lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was beating up some nasty people.
Yeah. Would you at least run into the woods and try and find some kind of animal that could do it for me? Some of those monkeys look like they got a good technique.
Right.
Stop it.
One more song.
Yeah.
Only time for song for the what's it?
Oh, we got to share this one then. But we're doing this
I thought
one.
there was two.
No, we've run out of time.
Well, this is in the Guardian because they printed my favourite song is If You See a Sailor. It's If You See a Say Hello by Bob Dylan.
Okay.
A song for the ladies and lovers.
Right, that's it.
And can't believe we weren't allowed to talk about monkeys giving blowjobs. Since when is that taboo? It's nature, Karl.
They go absolutely mental.
They love it.